Greetings, programs, and welcome to episode 2 of Space Jockeys. We had a little bit of technical difficulties last week. Iron's internet had a flat tire, and we couldn't get it fixed. But we are back tonight going over the Riddick movie, starting with Pitch Black, Chronicles of Riddick, Riddick 2013, and the games. And as with me, as always, one of my bestest friends in the whole wide world, Mr. Iron Oxide. How are you, sir?
What is up, man? I'm back up and running. Last weekend was kind of a big shit show. A little bit of a joke there. Yes, man, we had such a solid first episode and then just shit the bed on episode 2, but it's good to be back, and we're going to keep this thing going. And we're not alone this week, man. We got some friends with us joining us tonight. A lot of you guys already know her, but it is Tiny but Fierce. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Happy to be here and talking about one of my favorite sci-fi franchises.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. And another huge sci-fi fan that I haven't actually had too many opportunities to stream with, so I'm glad to bring him aboard, is Angry Vulcan. What is up, dude?
Howdy. I'm a huge fan of the movies, and yeah, that's about it. I love to. It's one of those types of movies where you can just sit down, relax, drink a beer, and just forget about the world.
And they get overshadowed by all the Fast and Furious stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, man. Like, one of my guilty pleasures is several of those Fast and Furious movies. Although the last few, just kind of, when they were in space, I was like, all right, you lost me. You're gonna cross over into the wrong franchise.
Diesel, you know the rumor, what they're trying to put together is Fast and Furious Transformers tie-in.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Oh,
How to know when you're
I mean, that was a few years ago, so maybe that's not a thing anymore. Maybe it was always just a joke. I mean, some people were like, yeah, like your reaction. Other people were like, you know what? Fucking lean into it. Why not? Transformers, G.I. Joe, Fast and the Furious, shared universe. Make them as over the top as possible. I could see it going either way. Especially with how
next time they go in space, the car just keeps going and ends up in another galaxy, and in that galaxy is where Furia is. So so Dom's gonna go and create Furia so that he can become Riddick thousands of years later.
Right.
Exactly, man. They take the Fiero and they go off into another galaxy.
So do you think that's why there was such a big, like, oh, Riddick is just Fast and Furious in space? Because I really didn't watching those movies.
It's nothing like that's. It's just because he's almost like Vin Diesel's like almost like, and that is not where my name came from. I had that way before that. So in case anybody's wondering, I'm not one of them weird simps, but he's like one of them dudes that's kind of like, he kind of sees they're similar kind of, his range isn't that great because the dude's got some charisma and stuff like that. It's like
The Rock.
Well, like The Rock used to have or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always like, Vin Diesel's a much better actor than Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
And like, see, I saw Pitch Black and I was like, this is cool. I remember watching it like it came out. I don't think it was in theaters too long. We watched it on like, maybe it was VHS or something or DVD. And I was like, well, that's pretty cool. Because, the ads for it were pretty, they would show like, I think they had the dude where he's like drinking the whiskey and spitting and you see the bioraptors around him. I think that was in like a lot of the ads.
That's would you say that would you say that Pitch Black is like the peak of those movies?
Not really to me, because like, Chronicles of Riddick, like Pitch Black is like, you take like one corner of this universe. It seems like to me, like Pitch Black is like one corner of it. You've got this merc that's bringing this prisoner in and that kind of thing going on, people traveling around. Chronicles of Riddick, man, I don't know what the budget was on that film, but like, it was like, they just opened up the door to all of this other crazy stuff that was going on in the entire universe. That this was like, it's almost like they're you're not even in the same
in the same universe.
Grab my teacup. Hold on.
Yeah.
See, looking at it like from just a film perspective, you've got Pitch Black was nothing more than a lower budget sci-fi horror. It was a horror movie, kind of in the respect to how Alien was a horror movie. It was a sci-fi movie second. It was a horror movie.
I can agree with that, even though I normally
call the two the same, but
yeah, I normally don't like horror movies, but I love the Alien. I like the Alien movies, and I love the Riddick stuff. But I can see why you would call it a horror movie.
Yes, but if you go back and watch Pitch Black is a classic, like traditional horror movie.
It was
kind of Blair Witch style, like that low budget.
It was a sleeper hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pitch Black was like it's you've got is a few really cool elements at the beginning of some sci-fi stuff. You see, they've got this transport, they're going through space, and all of a sudden, either they, and then they get hit with this thing and they have to crash on this planet, and then that's when stuff starts to go sideways, man. And you find out everything you think that might be going on is like it's completely and totally different. Oh, cool. We got the trailer.
Yeah, let's watch Little Trip Down Memory Lane, the classic trailer. And you can definitely see how this one was a horror movie. And then once they got into the Riddick saga, that's when Vin Diesel, who is the dude is a huge nerd. He he leaned into, I think he said he loves Star Wars and Dune, like as far as sci-fi, that's it. You can definitely see, especially the Dune inspiration behind that whole world building.
So it's kind of like his love is kind of like Henry Cavill with his roles and everything like that.
Right. Right. Yeah, they're both just big meatheads that are actually they're fake big meatheads, and when it goes down to like who they actually are, they are fucking nerds, and it's great. So let's take a look at this trailer.
What I don't get is, since when can nerds not be hot? Just because you're hot doesn't mean you can't be a nerd.
I know, right?
I mean, even though I love the detail of the ring on the planet too, that might be a cheesy effect. But...
Guess that's why I'm still awake.
Wait, I can't hear
the audio. Okay.
No.
I can't hear it.
No audio. Okay, let me try it.
Very low.
That is odd. Here, I'll try something else. 1 second, guys. I apologize.
No worries.
We will scrap that one, but I definitely want to take a look at that trailer. Give me just a second. Pitch Black trailer. Oh, here we go. In 4K. This one should have good audio. Let me try my headphones. See if they work now.
Do you need us to talk so you can test if it's working?
I can hear you. I can hear you. They're just a little staticky, and it kind of gives me a headache after a while, but I'll live.
Ricola.
All right, let me know if this one's better.
Yes.
Yeah.
They say most of your brain shuts down in cryo sleep, all but the animal side. Guess that's why I'm still awake.
If the man is gone, he's gone. Why should he bother us?
Maybe to take what you got. Maybe to work your nerves.
Is he really that dangerous?
Only around humans.
Zeke!
All you people are so scared of me. But it ain't me you gotta worry about now.
whatever it is that got Zeke and it nearly got me.
They seem to stick to darkness. So if we stick to daylight, we should be all right.
A total eclipse. We're gonna lose everybody out here.
You're not afraid of the dark, are you?
Yeah, I love that scene.
Yeah.
Best thing about that is they gave you just enough, but not too much.
Right.
Mhm.
Oh, the 90s had everything right. They knew how to make a trailer without giving away the whole movie, and just everything hit harder in the 90s. Come on.
Man, dude, that gave me. I tell you what, it gave me some. I had to check it out because like Event Horizon, man, I saw the trailer for that in the movie theater, and I knew it was going to be so messed up. There's no way I was going to watch it in the movie theater, so I had to wait and like get a whole bunch of buddies together. We rented it and was like drinking to watch it, and it didn't disappoint. That movie was messed up.
Oh yeah, Hell in Space. Can't go wrong there.
But yeah, see, that's enough. That's enough right there. That shot, they were going with that shot of him spitting the I think like the bourbon or the whiskey or whatever it was out. It was like 100 something proof out, and you get just a glimpse of those creatures, man.
But yeah, again, that one, it didn't have any overarching epic build-up theme. It was just criminal transport. You know, they're all scared of him, but it turns out there's a bigger threat. So it was typical horror movie, fairly predictable in a lot of the ways it went. You knew that he wasn't going to end up being the bad guy. A little bit of trivia for you. You know, the marshal who is transporting him, or the merc, whatever it was.
That Cole Hauser.
Cole Hauser. Yeah, from Yellowstone. Rip.
Oh, he's in Yellowstone.
Yeah, he's the big ass cowboy.
He was also in
50 pounds, and
he was in Too Fast, Too Furious as the the drug lord guy too, man. Which is, I guess, his Vin Diesel connections. Even though Vin Diesel wasn't even in that movie, got him in that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't know he was in Yellowstone. I hadn't watched Yellowstone. I didn't know
Yellowstone,
else.
at least the first seasons that I've seen have all been solid. I know that they're getting rid of Kevin Costner. I don't know how that's going to work. Let's say hi to the chat real quick, and then we'll get into Pitch Black. We got Emily Kruger, the Trivia All-Stars here. How's it going, Emily? We got Animation Overlord. What is going on, man? The Devastator, always good to see you. And of course, Scream Queen Selena is here watching in the other room. We got Isaac. I'm not going to repeat the numbers, but hi, Isaac. Let's see. And I think that's just about. Oh, we got Remdog 1138. David Tony is pretty cool. A hard worker. Would have loved to see his Alien 3 script realized. Cole Hauser nowadays is unrecognizable. Yeah, that's just what I was saying in Yellowstone. He put on that weight. He looks better with the weight instead of being a skinny dude. Being kind of a heavy set cowboy works for him. Your dad loves the Riddick movies too. Well, get your dad in here to watch. But good seeing everybody here on episode 2. So, Pitch Black. I'm going to pull up some slides here. I got some different screenshots from the movie. Again, you can definitely tell it. This one was setting the tone completely different than what we got after that.
Yeah.
So, Diesel, what do you prefer? Is Pitch Black the peak Riddick saga, or do you like everything that came after more?
I like all of it. I love the fact that you get, this is kind of like, this gets you a little glimpse into that bounty hunter merc side of things that are going on in the galaxy. But it's pretty cool. And it is a great movie, and you put Keith David in anything, and
absolutely,
just let him start talking, But I like it. I dig. But then again, like I watched Chronicles of Riddick the first time, and I was like, how is this even a sequel? And I've since watched it several more times, and I freaking love that movie.
See, I love them all too. The disconnect between Pitch Black and the rest of them is pretty undeniable. I mean, I'm glad you brought up Keith David's character. And Pitch Black, he just seemed to be like Muslim or Islamic or, faith, talking about Allah and stuff. And by the time he meets him again in Chronicles of Riddick, it's this completely different space religion.
No.
He was the same.
New Mecca. In Chronicles of Riddick, he's absolutely still Muslim, and he's still doing stuff. But the elementals, or whatever, where many people would worship them, he saw them just as another alien species.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
the city and like the city planet that he's on, that the necromongers come to, is New Mecca.
No,
so
that planet is.
Yeah,
that planet is
okay.
Or maybe the city's New Mecca, but the whole point is like that's where he was trying to go originally, to get from wherever they came from to New Mecca.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That
all
is.
right,
but I totally get why. I totally get why it would be confusing though, because they don't really make it clear.
Expanded
but
the character a little bit.
Yeah,
they did, and I liked that they expanded the character. I liked the showing him with his family and everything. It made it hit so much harder when he died within the first 30 minutes of the second movie.
I mean, Pitch Black to me was just
the planet's Helion Prime. That's what it is. Helion Prime.
Yeah,
is the
Helion
planet
Prime.
they're on. I don't know if that city's New Mecca
yeah.
or not, or if he went somewhere.
I'm 90% sure when they scan in the beginning of the thing, it says on the bottom, it goes new right, whatever, and then it says
I'll
New
have
Mecca.
to pause it. Yeah.
I mean, Pitch Black to me was a good taste of what was to come. That's why, like, I'm not too harsh on Pitch Black at all, because I believe it was a good taste of what was to come. You can't really rag on it too much.
Now,
I love Pitch Black.
I believe what happened.
The beginning of all the movies together are part of this hero's journey, instead of having each movie be a hero's journey. So you start out here with someone who doesn't trust or like anybody else, is even not willing necessarily to be the anti-hero. He wants to be the villain. He keeps getting things keep happening, and he keeps finding himself as an anti-hero. And then in Chronicles of Riddick, he gets to sort of go back to being revenge. I get this. I understand this. This is revenge, and this is to go save Jack. And then in
kind of like
Riddick,
Nightwing.
kind of. And then in Riddick, it's back to, I'm the badass. I can get through this. But because of what happened in Pitch Black, I also know that technically there are people out there I can trust. Like for me, it's all three of them together make the whole journey. Now, each of them is not a. I mean, each of them is a journey in itself, but not completely.
When they did the pitch meeting for this, David Toy, or however you pronounce it, had 3 briefcases, and he only opened one and showed them what he had for I want to say. I think that was when he did the Pitch Black, because the Pitch Black, he had he wasn't going to let anybody see anything. I think it was Vin Diesel was talking about this. Hey, he had these briefcases, and I think he had Chronicles of Riddick was in one, and then I believe one of them, I think the necromongers were gonna take a trip to the Underverse, and I'll have to find that clip. I just now thought of that. I should have found that earlier where he was talking about that. But all of this, David Toy, he's the guy who had all of this in his head from the beginning. I think Pitch Black seems like it's so far removed, because I'd imagine the budget is significantly smaller for that movie. It's almost borderline at times like an indie film.
That's news to me. I didn't know it was a cohesive idea from the get-go.
I
thought that it started off as okay. That actually makes me feel a little more forgiving, because I love Pitch Black separately than I do the Riddick films.
Gotcha.
And Pitch Black is very kind of holds that special place in my heart, because it's, horror, sci-fi horror is my jam. The big epic-y everything they did after, all great. But kind of like how I am, why Alien will always be, in my opinion, the superior, like the peak film of the series.
Oh yeah, well, I
Because it was
understand that completely.
The
man.
dread and, you know, that tagline in space, no one can hear you scream. And then Aliens, which was great because they just go in there and blow the fuck out of them.
It was a completely different movie.
Right.
The story and the look of it. Actually, you know, I saw Aliens first, and you wouldn't even know that it's, if you saw the theatrical cut, unless you saw it like I saw it on TV, and it had a couple of things. Unless you see that part at the beginning and look at where they're going through the computer screen, and then you can see Tom Skerritt and the other people from the first movie. That's one of the only tethers, because they cut the whole part where they go to the derelict and all that kind of stuff. And it was like Ridley Scott shot it in much wider. I forget the aspect ratio, but that's why it looks like a completely totally different movie.
Yeah, and just the tone and the pacing, everything, which is very similar to Pitch Black. Now let's take a few minutes just focusing on this one film by itself. Trying to think some of my favorite scenes from this movie. I don't want to steal everybody. I think my favorite is when they're going they're using the light straps trying to get the battery source to the other ship, and that's when Cole Hauser's character takes Riddick up to the front to start talking about a plan to escape using the young girl Jack, who had been posing as a boy, and it was Vin Diesel or Riddick that called her out because, you know, she started. Very bad timing to become a woman. And he was just gonna like,
when the creatures you're dealing with work on movement
scent
and smell,
kind of fucked. And then, you know, of course, Riddick ices him instead, and just that my favorite scene of the movie is when he the girl's crying, Jack, and he says, "Don't you cry, don't you cry
for Johns."
Oh yeah,
don't you dare cry for him.
But I guess starting with you, Diesel, out of Pitch Black scene, what's your favorite scene of this whole film, if you can?
Actually, real quick before I forget.
Yeah. Go for it.
When we were talking about the Fast and the Furious stuff with all this, it turns out that he couldn't get Chronicles of Riddick red lighted. So he went to them and said, "What would it take?" And they said, "How about a cameo in Fast and the Furious 2 at the end?" Literally, that cameo bought
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, Tokyo Drift. Sorry, not 2. Tokyo Drift. That cameo at the end of Tokyo Drift is the only reason we got more Riddick.
Really?
I hadn't heard
he
that.
wasn't going to do it, so I don't know if that means he wasn't going to actually originally continue the franchise. But that cameo, which allowed the franchise to continue and allowed this movie to get made, was all so that he could get this movie made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Vin Diesel takes this series. I mean, I think that if he could resurrect it and bring it back, he definitely would.
He got the rights to the character and leveraged his own house so that he could get the third one Riddick made.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And,
okay.
And he
would.
actually produced it because it's like the One Race stuff produced the third movie. They're actually going to have a fourth movie called Furia.
Well, they've been trying to get it off the ground for years, but that's technically still the plan.
I don't know.
Which I would much rather see that than yet another Fast and Furious movie. I didn't know that's the only reason he showed up in Tokyo Drift, which is cool.
He wanted to get Chronicles of Riddick made, and he wanted to get the rights to his character so that he could keep pushing it.
Nice.
Do you think he want? Oh, hold on.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the light bar scene and everything. That's actually my favorite scene out of the whole movie, too, as well. Just because if you watch that scene at like 1 o'clock in the morning and you really get into that movie, like it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, because all you got is that lighting, man, from those things, that bluish lighting. And
let's see if I got that scene in one of these slides. And of course, there he is spitting the fire at him.
I'll look on Google. Light bar.
I don't know if you noticed when they talk about the weight of those power nodes or how much they weigh. I think they said they were like 35 kilos a piece. That's heavy.
Yes.
That's really heavy. I'll do that. I'll do the conversion, but like I learned.
I found it. There it is. Hold on. Let's see if I can.
Let's see. That is.
Also, Pitch Black also gives us another very interesting, at least in my opinion, hero's journey. With
her, right?
with the co-pilot.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the movie, she's willing to dump them all to save the ship and herself and her pilot. And by the end, she's willing to fight Riddick to die to protect the ones that are left.
Yep.
Right, but he was just testing her at that point to see, making sure that she wouldn't leave them all to die again.
Yeah, that is.
I think that was part of it, but also the way he says interesting. Like he literally sees something in her has changed in some way.
Yeah,
and it's like something she didn't even see in herself. Like she's almost surprised when she says, yes, I would die for them. Like at least to me, she looked almost surprised, as upset as she was, that she would realize that she had in the last 6 hours, a fundamental part of her had actually changed.
I know she was a great character. That took me so off guard in the theater. She's just carried away, and he starts screaming, "Not for me!"
Yeah.
And at first I was like, "Who the hell is this person?" Like, and she came up basically out of nowhere. I'm like, "What the hell?" She has a great range.
Yeah, she was quite impressive as an actress.
Oh.
Dude, I think one of my favorite scenes is just a quick one, just because I want to say the first time I saw that, I wasn't even looking and pay attention when they realized that he's gone, and then they're all looking for him, and then the one dude comes down and they show a shot of him, and he's just sitting in that chair on top of the thing, hitting the guy's whiskey or his wine or whatever.
Yeah, he's just got his feet up.
He's got his feet propped up, and he's just. Because everybody's looking around, and all of a sudden they just go up there for like a split second, and he's just sitting up there
he's sitting there watching them do everything completely in plain sight to anybody who actually was paying attention.
Right.
And another good one that I always forget about when they're leaving, and he shuts everything down and lets them all come up over the freaking ship, and then he turns on the thrusters and just fries them all.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the man does understand vengeance.
Here, Vulcan shared something with us. It's a quick clip from the movie. Let's pull that up real quick.
I think that's the thing you want to.
That's a good visualization of echolocation, man. I think.
Wait.
This fucking guy.
Okay, I think he should have shot that guy, because he just ruins the whole thing.
Yeah, they absolutely should have. Right, and then
what are you doing if you're gonna run away? And I mean, why would you run away from that? Where are you gonna go? They're all over the place.
Obviously. I think the idea was he's in complete and utter panic mode and can't think at all. But still,
which is understandable.
Yeah.
It is, but kind of like in The Walking Dead, you're in that situation and somebody starts doing that, and it's one person versus survival of the group.
Yep.
Might as well go into that house full of blades.
He could be drunk too, man, because I might I don't know if I would have fallen over. Like if I'd have been still drinking in that situation, I'd have been like,
But to be honest,
he passed out in the middle.
Have to happen the same way if Jack hadn't gotten out of line. I mean, hard to blame the 13-year-old, but still.
But she dropped the guy who ends up destroying it all. He dropped a bottle and she went to grab it to help.
Yeah.
Because it's another source of light. She didn't want to let another sourse of light go, but she's not thinking clearly because the minute she's not attached to everyone, she becomes a bigger target and then they all have to work to protect her, which makes dumbass lose his very small amount of marbles and then destroy everything for everybody.
Yes, yeah, I would have never, like, as far as this situation, sacrificing the girl would have never been an option. But this guy, once he started crawling off, leading the court,
yeah,
weed out the inevitable people. Bye.
Yeah.
And I will say, I was actually somewhat impressed with John's trigger discipline when he almost hits the pilot.
Almost, yeah.
And we know that he's tweaking out at this point. He is out of morphine. He is tweaking out, and he still didn't shoot her. I thought that was impressive for him.
Oh, that dude! No, he had enough morphine, man. Did you see all those? Did you see his little case?
Yeah. No, they were all empty. By the time we actually see him putting it in his eye, that's the last one. All the rest of them are broken and or empty.
He had broken into their medical supply.
Yep.
And
that's why
they didn't have anything to keep the pilot and comfortable while he passed.
Yeah, the box of morphine with all the little applicators was missing. She couldn't get it. That's why he had to die in so much pain. And that's what Riddick says there. He goes, go ask Johns why your partner had to die screaming. And then you see him away, like taking out one, and he's looking at the box and he's shaking slightly, and he puts like one drop in his eye and he starts to not shake so much, but it looks like he's been doing it like every hour since they got there because I don't think empty.
I don't think I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch it. I was thinking they were full because she says you've got enough morphine there to like something or another.
Yeah. And an addict can go through that like nothing.
Yeah, tolerance is a bitch.
True that though, man. If I was on that planet, I'd just be like, man, we're fixing to get eaten by monsters. That's what
I really like. That's what I really like about the Pitch Black movies too, because you go back and you have to watch these scenes, like kind of notice the progression of how much of a real junkie this guy is. Because like if you watch it like one time, you're like, whatever, and you're like, oh shit, that guy actually has a little bit of character development in the movie, and you can kind of see.
Yeah, but his is like downwards, whereas almost everyone else is downwards.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of a high you gonna get putting that in your eyeball? That's messed up, dude.
Space morphine, Diesel.
Yeah, you're supposed to assume it's futuristic space dope.
Yeah, I guess in space, man.
And actually, there's more and more evidence that certain ways to get certain drugs into your system as fast as possible, especially if you have something neurologically related, they will there are things they will actually put drops in your eyes to try to get to other things.
So Blue-Eyed Scorpio, with a little bit of inside scoop here, they started filming the new one, apparently started in August.
Oh wow.
Woo-hoo! Yeah,
that's some good news.
I think they had a date of a year or so, maybe, when I was looking at it before, because it'd be cool because at the end, we'll get there.
Well, I remember when Riddick first came out in theaters, people were saying, this is the last chance. If not enough people show up for the third one, we'll never get Furia made, most likely. And so there was a big push for people to go to the theater so that we can get a fourth movie.
We'll get to the third one because that's my least favorite, unfortunately.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know how everybody else feels about it, but I don't want to jump ahead. Oh, you put the dog down. I was like, it looked like he had a little wolf. Is that a husky?
No.
Oh, it does. It looks like a husky.
No, it's a
half Chihuahua, half Rat Terrier.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he's
old.
So it'll always look
like a wolf puppy.
Yeah, he's old.
Yeah, he's got a little gray going on.
Yeah, he's 9 years old. So.
Okay, yeah. First, I thought it's like, holy shit, you got a little.
But there's right now there's fireworks going on outside, so it's freaking him out. So.
Oh yeah, the Chihuahuas don't like the.
Yeah.
Let's finish this scene real quick.
supposed to die in France. Never ever saw France.
Oui.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's such a random line. I've always wondered if it was ad-libbed.
Yeah. Watch that at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Well, it's good to see you're okay.
Do I even want to know?
It's funny whenever you hear that the whistling of the.
Yeah.
You always imagine those stupid toys that whistle.
Oh, that you twirl around.
Yeah.
They always kind of gave me dolphin vibes for some reason.
Yeah, that's like and
Maybe
using
because their sort of language was kind of clicky, kind of like dolphins click.
Yeah, like dolphin, like a mix of a dolphin and the velociraptors from Jurassic Park.
It does almost sound like underwater, but it's like I can see like I like that the way that it shows their vision, the echolocation. You see all the lines coming in like that, like that's the sound bouncing off the other things, giving you kind of an idea of what's going on and what it looks like.
Allows for great proprioception.
Had to linger on that one because again, the 90s just hit hard. That 90s hot. This girl was just your stereotypical 90s hot chick in an action movie. It's great. We don't get that anymore.
And there was character development.
Yeah, and she was a badass character. It's really unfortunate though. Her death kind of was
an important catalyst.
Yeah, it worked for Riddick. And then that fucking scene at the end where he lets them all pile on.
Yeah, what Diesel was talking about before when he does the big vengeance burn.
Yes.
KFC style.
Yeah, we can't go not without saying goodbye. It's not the best Vin Diesel impression, but I thought what did you think about the design of the monsters, the aliens?
Oh, I thought they were pretty creepy.
For the time period, yeah.
You can definitely
also for the time period.
You can definitely see the alien influence, especially with the teeth.
Yeah. And
I like the idea that they're blind. Cool I found that really interesting too.
Wait, is that a scene?
This was a great scene too.
Yeah.
When he's staying in eye contact with it.
Takes off his. I think wasn't that the scene where he first takes off his glasses?
Yeah.
I think that was, yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, anything else we want to talk about with as far as Pitch Black before we get into the good stuff, the Chronicles and so on?
No, it's just overall really good sci-fi. I guess now I'll admit horror movie.
Yeah, I like the attention to detail, even though it's like probably with the CG it was limited. But when you see all the debris in the rings of that planet.
Yeah.
And with considering, probably the limited budget, the crash of the thing, and then, it was the look of the ship. The thing was huge and long.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
it was
interesting.
made with love for the characters.
And every time I rewatch it, I get shocked again that what's her name? Damn it. She was on Stargate SG-1. She was in Farscape. She played
Kaylee Sackhoff?
No. Kaylee Sackhoff's in the third movie.
In the third one. Okay.
Yeah.
From Pitch Black.
In the beginning, she was one of the colonists. She's one of the few that didn't die, and then she gets killed off really early.
Oh, the dark-haired chick?
Yes, her.
Yeah, she's one
of the main characters in Farscape. So and for some reason
You're right.
I never remembered that she's in it, and then I watched the movie and I would go, "Oh my god, it's Aaron's son!" And
That's
I must have said it
another
like 16 different times.
That was another favorite scene where she got killed and he just stands up and dusts some dust off his shoulder after this woman just got horrifically eaten.
We're gonna get into Chronicles of Riddick now. I'm gonna share the trailer real quick if I can find it. Here it is. Let me know if the audio is good. I'll bring it up here.
Are we going to be doing these in chronological order?
Yeah, we just finished Pitch Black.
Yeah. Well, I just meant, let me put it this way. I know some of the video games come in between the movies and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
And
we're gonna just do the.
if there's any way we can leave the video game part of it to the end of the stream, because I don't have
That's
anything
what
I can say.
That's exactly what I was.
I
We're
don't
gonna
know
talk
really.
just the
Okay, cool.
movies first, and then we'll talk about the games, the anime. I think there's even some tie-in comics, right? You were telling me about that, Diesel, right?
I think I heard that, but I've never seen any of them. Diesel?
I don't know. I've not heard of the comics.
I mean, I've seen images of the comics. I just
Okay, you were just talking about the anime then, right? Dark
I've
Fury.
seen the anime.
Yeah, Dark Fury's anime. I was trying
Yeah.
to find it. No, there was that. There's like a little motion comic thing that I sent a link. It may be on YouTube, where it was basically like this scene from the beginning of the third Riddick movie, and it was kind of like it was almost like, it was like a little motion comic. I think it was a few minutes long. I can find that.
All right.
It's just basically the same, just a comic version. I think they put that out before the movie came out.
The anime?
No, it was a little comic for the third movie. It was just like the first 5 minutes or so of the of the movie. It was like in comic form and stuff like that. Let me see. I think it's on YouTube.
I think about it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna play this real quick, and I'll be right back. I just gotta run the restroom.
Found it. The power of Google.
They are a plague that now sweeps through the worlds of man,
I think that's it.
leaving behind a trail of dead planets and towering icons, monuments to their unholy crusade.
All those poets on all those worlds who spoke of war as such an unsightly thing, they never stood here.
Never fails to inspire, does it? Each time a world falls.
The Necromongers, a dark army that will convert or kill every last human life, unless they can be stopped. But sometimes the only way to stop evil is not with good. You must confront it with another kind of evil.
Who the hell are you?
Where does he come from?
Oh, wait. I
Who
think I
are his people? These are the things I need to know.
You remember your home world? Have you met any others?
Others like yourself.
It's not my fight.
Consider it a test.
Convert now or fall forever.
Are you gonna stop the monsters now?
I am the monster.
Get Riddick.
Here they come!
He's beginning to understand.
Are you with me?
Who is this man?
He sees everything. You're not the one to bring me down.
You're not afraid of the dark, are you?
It kicks ass.
You're muted. There
Sorry,
you go.
dude. And I just watched all of these just to get kind of refreshed before we started watching this again. And yeah, this one hits the hardest out of the like Pitch Black's still my favorite just because of what it is, but as a whole film series, this one's definitely my favorite. It had that just the epic, the scope of it, the way it felt like Dune and everything else.
Yeah, the music. Yeah, the music they really upped the game on the music for this one. It does give you that epic Dune like feeling, almost like the music from the original '84 movie.
Yeah, and you can tell that's definitely where they're trying to go. And I mean, how the hell did they get Judi Dench to be in this movie?
It's a drama, I swear.
And she was fucking awesome in it.
Mm.
It was just really surprising to see, that kind of scale of actress in a movie like this. Not saying it's a bad movie. It's my kind of movie. It's just you don't usually.
It's not her
see
kind
those
of movie normally.
Exactly.
Also, I think about it. At her age, when is she going to get cast to play a superhero or a figure like that? She gets to actually play a goddess to some degree. I mean, and she gets to have fun.
Yeah.
For all we know, her grandkids were obsessed with Pitch Black.
She just did it to be around Vin Diesel.
There's that too. If I was her age and I could be around Vin Diesel at that age, I'd be very happy.
Rub his head for good luck.
I'm not even sure who
There's
that is, man. That shows my range. I'm not even sure who she is.
Judi Dench?
Yep.
Yeah, she's like one of the
greatest actresses of the 20th and 21st centuries.
Here,
I've probably seen her in some stuff.
Yeah,
you 100% have. Yeah, she's just.
Did you watch any of the Bond movies with Pierce Brosnan?
Was she the?
She's M.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. That's.
She was in the ones with Daniel Craig too. Was she also in the Pierce Brosnan?
She was. I'm 90% sure she was in the one with. She was in at least one, if not two, of the Pierce Brosnan ones too.
You're probably right, but she's usually in more like high-end drama, Oscar contending type movies. Does a lot of theater.
But anytime a older, distinguished actor takes on a part that doesn't make any sense for a show that is targeted to anyone under the age of 16, it's almost always the grandkids. That's why they ended up doing this. It was for the grandkids.
Yep.
Like Alec Guinness.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got, what's his name? Hannibal Lecter. I can't think of the actor right off the top. Played Odin in the MCU.
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins. Thank you. Yep. Hell, even Ian McKellen. I guess I don't know what I'm talking about. You start thinking about it more and more. You got Ian McKellen in the X-Men movies and Lord of the Rings. Well, Lord of the Rings is on. That's high peak cinema on its own. So you wouldn't really put that there. High peak cinema
based on one of the greatest pieces of literature ever made from her own country, even.
Right.
I mean, the great thing about this movie is how many characters are in it, and each character they gave a specific amount of time to really develop each one of the characters, and it's amazing to me the great story of each of the characters.
Like the bounty hunter dude at the beginning is chasing him, and at the beginning of this, that's just Riddick wants to be left alone on whatever desert ice planet that he's on, just chilling. He's just sitting there, and then here we go again, more bounty hunters, and you get that, that
they fucking harpoon him. Well, and then you find out it was the fucking holy man, Keith David, that
he and the elemental are the ones that put the bounty out on his head to bring him back.
It's like, we said bring you back alive.
He wasn't quite. I don't think he was nearly as upset about the bounty itself. It was more that
the betrayal.
He was hiding out on that ice rock to try to protect the Imam and Jack. And now suddenly someone knew exactly where he was, and no one should be able to know exactly where he is. So he knew someone had betrayed him in some way. And then when he gets on their ship and he looks up where the bounty came from, I thought he was much more upset about the the betrayal of telling where he was, of like giving them
that's exactly what he was.
Much more than the bounty.
Sat there that took 2 people off that rock.
Well, it's also part of his whole race of being too. The Furians are very loyal. It seems like the way that they talked about his race throughout the movies and stuff like that is the race is very loyal. You can even the guy that betrayed him at the end on the fiery planet, the general, they were even talking about basically any kind of betrayal to them is unthinkable. So that's what
Blue-Eyed Scorpio. I looked it up. Judy joined because after a play she performed in London, Vince sent her a massive bouquet of flowers and then later sent her a personal letter asking her to join the movie. That is awesome.
That's so cool.
So yeah, he rizzed Judi Dench.
There you go.
Hey man, that's how you do it. You want somebody with this to give the distinguished kind of like elegance of an elemental, from the elemental race. There you go,
dude. That was a smart call, and he did it the right way. Fuck going through agents and everything else. You know, classy lady like that, sending her flowers and then a respectful message asking her to join the cast. Shit,
how much she was paid.
That's all it takes.
I wanted to go back real quick.
However much she got paid.
There's that too. I wanted to go back a second to what Vulcan was saying earlier. That every character in this, even if they're only on screen for freaking 2 minutes, they're have an memorable. Obvious individuality. They have an obvious. These aren't just NPC random background. They're people. You know.
Yeah. Oh and God, what they did with
you don't get that anymore. You can have only 4 or 5 people in this show, and you still don't know anything about them.
Right. And like the way they developed the shit out of Carl Urban, and
Carl Urban is so good in this movie.
The seductress from that chick from Westworld's character. I mean,
and then they just dropped it. It was like, I love the intensity of that though, but yeah.
My favorite part in this movie is when the dude that's got the knife stuck in his back, he's in their little, he comes up to where they're holding their little assembly, and they say, you kneel or bow before the Lord Marshal, and he goes, I bow to no man.
Yep.
And he's like, he's not a man, he's the holy half dead. He's like, they say something, he's like, yeah, but he goes, but I will take a piece of that guy, and he points at that guy, and Carl Urban goes, a piece you have.
The teacup scene to me is the best scene.
Yes, I love it.
Oh yeah,
I love the teacup.
I'm gonna kill you on my teacup.
And right before that, when they let the beasts out, and they just become like, they just adopt him into the pack.
Yeah, he looks at him, and he looks over at the other guy, and he goes, it's an animal thing.
Oh yeah, that I forgot about that part.
Oh, oh no, that's one of my favorite
They're
parts.
running down, taking out all the prisoners, and it pins him, and then they come up, and he's just sitting there fucking petting it. That kind of reminded me of Lethal Weapon with Mel Gibson and the dog in Lethal Weapon 3. Yeah. The drug dealer's guard dog he ends up stealing and has it through the rest of the movies.
Yeah, that's when he starts eating the dog biscuits the whole time.
Yeah.
The only thing from that movie I ever remember is the scene where he's comparing scars with the female cop or the Fed or whatever.
Renee Russo's character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a hot.
No, I got this one from here. Oh no, they're just like literally stripping themselves down, not thinking about it at all, just to show their scars to each other.
Oh, they knew what they were doing.
And I really love this character on screen right now, just because
Vaco.
It really like. I mean,
Carl Urban is a fucking chameleon.
Yeah,
he's a great actor.
You can understand where he's coming from.
Do you all understand what he started as?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know where he started?
No,
I know he was on TV.
He was on TV for quite a bit. He was Cupid on Hercules' Legendary Journeys.
Yeah, that's right.
Caesar on Xena. And then they brought him back as like 3 other totally random characters on Xena.
They did that a lot in the Hercules and they would recycle actors and just put them in different roles.
They were all local. They were all local New Zealanders.
But I think isn't Carl Urban New Zealander?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
A piece you shall have.
It's just
and
hilarious.
this. I don't know. The more this is one of those movies, like I was saying, the more you watch it, the more you see. And some people could argue, oh, none of this makes sense. And all. Man, it's science fiction. There's certain things to a point that kind of make sense, but then there's other elements of the fantastical. And this just kind of like Pitch Black, you see, is this little tiny corner of the universe. Then for this movie, it's like you just kick the door open and you see all this. And you got these freaking the elementals, which are like they're not even solid form for the most part. They just float around. Then you got the of course, you've got the mercenary bounty hunter group that kind of does their thing, and they have their boards and their bounty hunter boards and all that kind of stuff going on. But then you've got these people, these necromongers, that are going around from planet to planet, convert or die basically with their religion and everything. And you see some of the stuff and more of the alien, just like those dogs that were on the prison planet, man. There's a whole lot of stuff going on, man. It's kind
of Halo-ish in a way.
What up, that sauce? And look at just the attention to detail they put in this armor. It's insane.
Somebody said something about it being 40K or in space or 40K or something.
I can see that. Yeah, I can definitely.
I could kind of see that. I don't even know much about 40K.
I don't know anything about 40K.
Maybe
but
the
they have
armor.
an evil emperor, right? Yes, they have an evil emperor.
They do, yeah. I don't know much about it either. I have enough friends that do, and I've kind of caught a lot of it secondhand.
Yeah, I that's why I hear people talk about that, and I figured. I know that's why I asked, is there an emperor? Am I remembering this right?
Yeah, there's definitely an emperor.
Yeah, Jesse kind of explained it to me that everybody in the entire universe is everybody's bad. It's just different levels of bad. There's not really, it's just, and, and
nobody's really good or evil in that universe, is from what I understand. It's just a conflict.
Lots of killing and war.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, up until this character, well,
let me go back.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so this character, what I really did like about him is the fact that partially you're rooting for him to kill the Emperor, because you're okay, I can understand this guy's been shit on most of his career, so in a weird way, you kind of felt bad for him. But
I felt bad for him because he was married to that biatch, man.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah, she a hoe.
Yeah,
she's awful.
She probably was sleeping with the Emperor too, I bet.
Well, yeah, that was kind of implied, and she was throwing it at Riddick. That's what she does. She's just your typical, kind of seductress character. But I definitely see the disconnect. This is why I think a lot of people were kind of confused going from Pitch Black to this.
Yeah. It's kind of jarring.
Yeah. And you get used to it over time, but I can see why it kind of made everybody you're definitely taken aback going from something that just felt more like traditional, almost earthly, truckers in space, a typical transport, probably from Earth to, 40K and Dune.
Yeah, it just kind of went. They opened it up in a way that's just all right, this is a complete another universe with all kinds of different stuff going on.
But the number one thing that was jarring. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that, going back and rewatching Pitch Black, the music, they did take some of the music from Pitch Black and add it to Chronicles of Riddick. I think that's right, if I'm not mistaken, that there's some of the musical cues, but then there's more. You get more of this epic feel from a full orchestra going on. But there are a few.
Black was definitely a horror movie score. jump scare.
But I think some of the music is the same. I think they took some of them cues from the music in Pitch Black and added it to that. That's another thing that I noticed on rewatch. I believe that's what that is. Yeah,
may have been the same composer. I'm gonna have to look
Could
that
have
up.
been.
Both movies had fantastic music, but I got to get Chronicles of Riddick. I love me some epic-y, just that massive scale movie score, and especially for the time this came out, the early 2000s. It fucking hit. But we're talking about things that were jarring from going from Pitch Black to Chronicles of Riddick. I think the number one jarring thing was this recasting choice, because we're expected to believe that Jack, a little girl that, I'm sorry, she looked like a prepubescent Tobey Maguire, grew up into this.
She looked kind of like the dude, the guy who from the first Matrix movie that played Mouse. That's kind of what she looked like.
Right.
Yeah.
I still think she looked like a prepubescent Tobey Maguire, but I can see that too, especially after she shaved her head. She looked like Mouse.
Yeah, this chick reminds me of the chick from Starship Troopers.
Yeah, she does. She looks a little bit like she was another
the one that had a crush on the Casper Van Dien character.
Yeah,
she was a big 90s and early 2000s actress that just kind of disappeared afterwards. But you wouldn't have even, other than their first introduction to her in this movie, is she says the line, how do I get eyes like that? And then he addresses her at Jack, and then she's like, I'm Kira now, and that's it. And then Jack is all but a fucking distant memory.
I think she's from another country too. I think she is this actress. I don't know her name, but I think she's from another country.
She has kind of that foreign exotic look. I'm not sure. She might be like European or something.
Yeah.
But I thought they made it very clear. To me, it was very clear that she had been severely abused by the mercs.
Oh yeah.
And that's what, and that's why Jack is dead. She
the
trauma of what they did to her. Jack is dead. I'm someone else now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that victim. I'm not what they did to me. I am not that thing anymore. I'm new. I'm reborn as a different person. And there are I know multiple people who've had very traumatic events with the opposite sex who then ended up literally trying to change their name. It's just, it's a not super common, but not unnatural, or not that, you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And they did kind of explain on that, but it was also her fucking fault for leaving. He did everything to make sure she would be safe, but she went to go find him and ended up there and everything that happened.
Oh no, absolutely. She put herself in danger. She created the whole situation, but at the same time, I understand when you say it's a whole new character, but why? I'm just trying to say, I think there was an actual reason that they had.
Now, going to the recasting, do you think they did that? Do you think the other actress was just still too young to fit the part, or I think that they just wanted a more attractive actress to?
Yeah, that would be more feminine, that like Riddick might see.
Do we have any idea how that actress grew up? Do we know what she looks like today, or
she looks pretty much the same, but a little older.
Oh, okay, then it was probably they wanted a better sex appeal.
And she was playing a kid in Pitch Black, and she was like 22 or something, which is typically the case when they have somebody playing a teenager in movies like that. They're usually in their early 20s, so she wasn't even as young then, so she would have been plenty old enough to reprise the role for the time jump, but she just didn't look the part that they wanted for the mature, an adult version of the character.
Yeah, no, that sounds.
And they wanted her to be pretty too.
Yeah, this woman is Alexa Davalos, and she was born in France, Paris.
I called it. European.
Yeah.
And though they never, I'm glad they didn't, like you said, he would see her in a different light. He just saw her as an adult, but I think they still did a good job of keeping that older brother / father figure aspect to their relationship dynamic.
Yeah.
And that was good. They didn't go creepy on us.
Yes.
But the ending of this movie, this is my favorite scenes after her death and everything. It kind of had that Conan feel.
Yeah, where
he loses everything
and they all kneel before him.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't want any of this shit.
Yeah.
All he wanted was, the one person left that he cared about, who's now, gone, and that's it. So they gave it a really good, tragic kind of Shakespearean ending, for this type of movie.
I mean, the only thing I didn't like about the girl character Jack is or adult Jack is the fact that like she didn't appear like she had a rough and tumble life, and that's what I kind of really disassociated myself with the character, because it didn't appear like she supposedly had that kind of life after Riddick.
I don't know. Every time I saw her, she just looked kind of dirty and greasy. Except for the end when she had her on the Necromonger ship, they made her take a shower.
Yeah. Well, it's that dirty, the sci-fi and dirty greasy, where they make people dirty but still try to keep them sexy at the same time.
Yeah,
like on Walking Dead, they say they have to put on the sexy dirt. But overall, I think like I said, Pitch Black is a special movie to me because it's a horror movie, but out of the whole series, this by far, I think, is the best one.
The world building aspect.
I do enjoy this one a lot. I really do, but I don't agree that it's my favorite. Sorry.
Are we getting, so are you saying it's Pitch Black or is it going to be Riddick?
I think actually I like Riddick the best.
Wow.
I love Pitch Black. I've seen it so many times, but there's a certain aspect of he gets to go back to who he was to some degree in Riddick, and he also shows that he has grown at the same time. He's able to sort of work with Johns' team to some degree. He gets the puppy. He had the puppy.
I think that's why I hate that fucking movie, because
I don't think in Pitch Black he would have had a puppy.
We never saw him get to interact with any animals other than the ones he was killing in Pitch Black, which were the only animals on that planet. Were trying to eat them. But then in this one, there's the dog in this one. But yeah, with that jackal beast, when he gets it as a puppy and he's crate training the little fucker.
Yes.
Once what's his name? Sonovan or whatever the fuck the dude's name is, the one that blows its head off. I was like, fuck this movie. Yeah, Sanchez. Dirty Sanchez.
Everyone in my theater wanted him to die, obviously, before this, but when that scene happened, you could tell how many people in the theater were like, like they were ready to rise out of their seats and go attack the dude.
And this was before John Wick, man. You killing man's dog.
That just tells you how people think. You kill his love interest, the first woman he's fucking connecting with, and who knows how long in Pitch Black. Then you kill his surrogate, daughter / sister, whatever that is, the only other person he cares about. And you're like, oh, but then when they kill his puppy, it's like, fuck this shit.
Good grief, the whole freaking universe, you just killing everything, man. Why do you think I became a killer? Well, I mean, good grief. But I do think it was pretty, it tripped out when oh wait, we're still talking about this. I like that dude, whatever his name. Now, I don't think in the theatrical release of this that they had the scene where the Furian woman comes in when he's in hypersleep and puts the hand on him and puts that mark on him. I think they cut that out for the theatrical release and some of the scenes that tie that in, but I've seen the director's cut so many times now that has that scene in it. Like after when he steals the Merc ship and leaves the frozen planet, and he's in like cryo, he has a vision of that Furian woman, and she comes over and puts her hand on his chest and puts that imprint on it, like that glowing handprint.
Oh, okay.
And then that dude right there, whatever his name is, the other he's like, the necromonger in me is supposed to report you, but the Furian or tells you not to go, but the Furian in me hopes you ignore it. And then he just like, he walks out into the fire. I was like, well, that's
a pretty badass scene.
Yeah.
And that's another great act. He's a good character actor. He played Bruce Wayne's father in Batman Begins.
Oh yeah,
he had a short run on Law and Order. I can never remember his name offhand, but he's one of those kind of like Carl Urban, but he hasn't hit that big of a scale yet. A chameleon actor who can look.
Dude, I'd have never known that was Bruce Wayne's dad.
Yep. And this bitch right here, but she's a good actress. She's a little one note. She just plays evil, seductive woman in everything she's in, but
she does it well. She does it well.
Yeah.
Kind of a great value Zoe Saldana.
Kind of.
Oh, he was in Vikings. You're right, Scorpio. I gotta look up his name real quick. You guys talk real quick. I'm looking something up.
Well, no, I mean, like when the other Furian, I keep forgetting what he's called, like the converter or whatever, he's like, I have brought millions of people into a religion that is not my own. And it's obviously that he's probably one of the people, like one of the few babies that didn't die on Furia, like Riddick. And he's always felt like he was trapped. He had to be what he was, and seeing Riddick reawakened the Furian inside of him, and so that he could go and take his own life rather and then go back to that shit.
The Purifier, that's what he is.
The Purifier, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, Linus Roach. That's the guy in the corner there walking behind him's name. Really good at, man. Yeah, I'm looking at these movies and it's like I forgot he was in almost all of them because he looks completely different in fucking everything. Unless it's like some kind of drama or something. What up, Lil Peen? Lux. Hope I pronounced that right. Yeah, the Purifier.
I love that thing. I like the thing that where they force, like they can psychically like rip the information from his head, information that he didn't even know. It's like he didn't know, he'd never heard the word Furia before.
Yeah, no, that was pretty.
He was like strangling. They tried to strangle him with his umbilical cord or something and left him in a dumpster on a planet.
Yeah, that was like that's how they killed all the Furians, man. I thought the sound design on that when they
it wasn't all the Furians. It was all the male baby Furians. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, they probably killed a lot of the women too, because I doubt Furians were just handing their children over. But it's a very King Herod. Someone gave a prophecy that a new person would rise from this place, and then whoever's in charge goes, fuck that. They go and try to kill all the babies and things from that place, and then you
remember when the what was it? What did they call those? The people that were like reading his mind. What did they call them? I can't remember what they called them. The quasi dead.
Yeah, they're like,
and when they had him on that thing, he flipped the switch. It was almost like a gravity switch, and that noise that it made, it was like a whirl. That sounds really, really good in that movie. That always stands out to me whenever they hit that switch. It's like whirl, and the knife flings down to the ground. I think it's like it's like
they're called the Order of the Quasi Dead.
Yeah.
Creepy as shit.
Yeah. They look like freaking corpses, and then you hear like sex moans going on in the background, and it's like what's going on here, man? Yeah. It's like a bunch of dusty bones. Why are they doing? I guess if you're dusty bones.
I mean, the great thing about this movie to me is like, I mean, just look at this scene. Look at or any of the scenes really. just look at the background, look at the detail of each of the characters in the background. You don't really pay attention to, but you could tell the love in this.
Man,
and
again,
it's not a bunch of green screen.
Now with the armor, just the attention to fucking detail. Yeah, those fallen stone soldiers, everything. It's insane. Just the terrain behind it, you can definitely it gives you that otherworldly feel. You don't. I mean, look at. I know you have to adjust for inflation, but how much this movie cost versus how much they spend per episode or per season on shit like Rings of Power, The Acolyte, which none of the Star Wars TV shows have, with the exception of maybe the first season of The Mandalorian, felt
first two seasons of Mandalorian got them something back, but that was it.
Yeah, they felt like Star Wars because they didn't have to go very far. They kept it in that the desert.
Yeah.
They didn't explore they do more. You go to like how many different worlds? You start off on the ice planet on Chronicles of Riddick, then you go
Prime, then you go to Crematoria.
Yep.
Which I thought when I first heard it, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cheesy. It's a planet that's." Well, then now I understand the whole planet is like fire.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it is a crematory. That's pretty. What's crazy is like, you know what? I tell you what though, man, there ain't no OSHA in this universe because like the lack of safety in these spaceships is like all over the place.
Right.
Like that one dude is just like flying down in that thing, man, when they go to the crematoria plant, or when they get on that sled and they're going down and he's counting. Yeah. He's counting the things and he just kicks the guy up. I'm like, man, you didn't think to like maybe raise that up another couple of feet in case some dude gets kicked up in his head and gets knocked off?
No, because they want people to not be able to transverse it easily.
It's like the what is it? The Family Guy Star Wars? Can't they put a rail over here? You know, when the Death Star is splashed in the thing, at least put a rail over here.
So it cost 105 million to make back then, which would be about 174 million today. Okay. And then how much did I wonder how much they cost per episode of Rings of Power or even just per season?
The answer is too much.
Yeah. And I know we don't like to bitch about things on this show as much, Diesel, but it this is more as a comparison, and this shit is so much older. But one of the biggest things that got brought up with Rings of Power in the first season was the armor looked like just foam drawn on. The chainmail was, or the scale mail was literally just like drawn on a shoulder pad.
It was awful.
Oh man, I'll tell you why they didn't make another Riddick movie. It says the worldwide gross was 115 million.
Oh wow.
But it's also that type of series where it didn't really become popular until after.
Yeah, it's one of those things though.
Yeah. But like 300 full suits of armor, even using modern materials to make them light and everything, that would have been amazing. That's amazing. Like you can see it. They look like they're wearing armor.
There's
everything looked real.
Yeah.
Rings of Power averages 58 million an episode.
Wow.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And on top of everything else, Chronicles of Riddick was the most expensive Riddick movie. You can make it, unless we want to go back to the Necromongers, which we might.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily need to have a lot of the big CGI sci-fi thing. He finds a way to get to freaking Fury, and you spend the whole rest of the episode, the whole rest of the movie on Furia. You don't have to. It wouldn't necessarily have to be as expensive as this. Is what I'm trying to say.
They're gonna have. It would be that. That's the one thing about Riddick that when I watched it, I was kind of like, oh, they only have a little bit of the Necromongers. But at the end, he asked where Vaco is. He said, "Is Vaco dead?" He goes, "He's neither dead nor alive. He transcended." So Vaco went to like the gates of the underverse and probably came back like the Lord Marshal.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I liked the third movie a lot, man. When I rewatched it, I was like, I like this.
You know what? and I'm gonna have to just rewatch it. I watched them. We got to the dog part, then we stopped. My wife had to stop and step away for a little while, and then I started rewatching it again a little bit later and finished it up. And I'm just like, it's good. It's really good. I want more of it. It just coming off of Chronicles, though, which was just so fucking.
It's a downgrade because what they did was they kind of went small scale. But to me, it feels more like Pitch Black.
It does. Now that I'll give you.
Riddick tried to rein it back into like Pitch Black because it's like they put it on a different planet with some monsters to fight on it, kind of like that, almost like a very similar formula.
It was very, very specifically supposed to feel like Pitch Black.
Yep,
that was.
It was, and then them escaping from the what are they called? The demon, whatever the things he was injecting himself to the
serpents or whatever they called them. Yeah,
I wonder also if it was because they also wanted to save money too, as well. Because the Chronicles of Riddick at that time didn't do very well.
Yep.
So they're like, oh shit, maybe we need to cut it back.
Yeah.
So
it's such a good movie, man. And it's a shame it didn't make a whole lot, but like I know
go ahead, keep going.
I was gonna say in 2004, I wasn't aware of it until it was already out on DVD and I watched it.
Yeah, I don't think this one did. We can go ahead and get into Riddick now, and I'll pull up the trailer here in a minute. But the ending of Chronicles too, that ending hit everything. The epicness, which was so jarring from the first one. It's like it's almost like they tried to appease fans by going back to a smaller scale Pitch Black style. When it's like you already opened the door to go that big, just keep going bigger at this point.
You can't really close it. You're gonna have to explore.
Don't yo-yo.
Although at the end, that shot you just had of the other pic where he's sitting there like that, man, that's so good. That's fantastic acting, dude.
Yeah.
And then while he's like that, just what you see in his face, you're just like, what the? You just see him, he's just like, fuck. And he's like doing that, and then you see the camera pans back, and you see everybody in the room like kneeling in front of him.
Yep, Baz nailed it. That's exactly what I was saying. It was that King Conan homage ending.
Hail Ragnar.
So good. But yeah, overall,
I don't mind it. I honestly like the going back to the closer to.
Yeah, I like Riddick. I like it, especially
we're getting into Riddick right now. Yeah. But I'll be the contrarian of the group. I'm right now as we're discussing these three movies. Like I said, Pitch Black is that little special nugget of. It was really something special, especially for the time it came out. It was so different, and we hadn't had a movie like that in a while back then. And seeing it, come out of nowhere, kind of like the Matrix did. In the 90s.
Yeah, that came out in 1999 too, man. 1999 had so many good movies in it.
Oh God, I think Blade.
When Matrix first came out, there were a lot of people who were like, "What is this, Johnny Mnemonic 2?"
Yeah, I know, right?
Like people had no idea what was coming.
I watched that movie. We're gonna do 3 times.
Matrix in a week or two, and I can't wait to get into that because every news outlet was predicting the Matrix was going to be the biggest bomb that year.
Yep.
It was, man. I watched it 3 times in the freaking movie theater. That was unheard of for like back then, man. I could barely be bothered to be taken away from whatever nonsense I was doing in college.
Let me pull up. We're going to go and get into our Riddick discussion now. I'm going to share my screen. We'll watch the trailer. Baz, Riddick was world building space opera. Exactly.
Yeah.
Pitch Black was aliens. That's exactly what I was saying, man. So Blue-Eyed Scorpio, only 38 million budgets. Studio didn't want to do rated R, which is why he leveraged his house, like you mentioned earlier. Yep. All right. So here we go. This is the trailer for Riddick. Let me make sure my volume's up.
So literally, basically, for almost half of a single episode of Rings of Power, you got this entire badass movie.
This whole movie. Yeah. And I mean, CGI for the time it was made, it was good, and it still holds up pretty well. Same with Riddick and even Pitch Black. But you know, it kind of I really wish that CGI would just kind of fizzle out more, kind of like what we just saw with Romulus. Bring back conventional effects.
Yeah, man. Miniatures look so good. You can't do CGI spaceships. They look like garbage. Miniatures are where it's at, man.
100%. Bat Sauce. There's an animated too, right? Yes. Chronicles of Riddick Dark Fury, which was a bridge between Pitch Black and this. We're going to talk about the anime and the video games right after we finish the movie discussions. Make sure everybody can hear it.
Don't know how many times I've been crossed off the list and left for dead. So this ain't nothing new. Bounty hunters.
I've been hunting Riddick for 10 years. He's the most dangerous man we've ever tracked. Bounty's been doubled. I've come to collect your head in a box, right here.
So yet again, we play for blood.
This is a man who sees in the dark. So watch out for surprise attacks. What is it?
Riddick! 1 down. 3 down. You get where I'm going with this.
Again!
Hold him down.
What is happening?
Time's up.
Yeah, let's cut him loose.
You're not afraid of the dark, are you?
Very Jurassic
Who wants
Park.
to go?
Dude, it's like
It's
see,
Jurassic
this is like
Park.
when one of the first few times you guys were on like one of MSK streams when Selena is another chameleon, and I said, "You look like Katie Sackhoff." That's because she had her hair a certain way, and everybody was looking at me like I was retarded because nobody knew what I was talking about, man. And I was just like, "Well, you know," and I didn't realize at the time when I saw this movie that I hadn't watched Battlestar Galactica, and then I understood why they got her to be in this movie because she's got that whole sci-fi thing going on after I watched Battlestar Galactica.
And supposedly she's one of the few gender swaps that really didn't actually harm the character all that much because she played Starbuck.
Not at all. We'll have to Diesel, me and you'll have to go back and rewatch all of or at least as much as we can of the old and the well, it's not really modern anymore, but
yeah, now it's kind of
it's dated too. The remake is 100% better than the
I've never seen the original.
Was 70s campy.
I like the
it was in
original.
all its glory. It was fine. It was fun. There's nothing wrong with it. But the remake, man, it took it dark and real and so perfectly cast. Every character was great in that show.
Yeah, the only time I saw her kind of being a bad actor was, I would probably say, like, The Mandalorian. Like, when she was doing that character.
Yeah.
I think
I don't care for that character.
Yeah, I think that has to do with all of the garbage that show is, man.
I think it's the director. Once again, if you have a good actor, if the director wants them to play something in a certain way, they eventually get to that place and they do it. But none of
it's not her fault.
No, because we've seen her in so many other things. We know that she is a good actress.
Yeah.
In which case, you have to look at why did this go so wrong? Has to be direction. To me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's that's 100% because it's like.
Of course, her voice acting has never been her voice acting for the Clone Wars stuff and all the animated stuff.
Oh yeah, it was
had the same character. She's great with voice acting.
And the whole like if you were to watch this movie now and you hadn't seen it, you'd just be like, oh, it's another girl boss thing or whatnot. But it was actually a well-written character, and it was before they started girl bossing freaking everything.
Yeah, she kept a lot of Starbucks flaws. She wasn't just a more perfect female version of Starbuck.
Oh, I was talking about her in this movie.
In this movie,
in Riddick. Sorry. Yeah.
They've had great female characters in this film series, like Jack/Kyrie and Chronicles was good. I can't remember her name from
Kira.
Pitch Black. Or Kira, thank you. But the love interest that bites it in the end in Pitch Black, she was good, and they were flawed. Like Pitch Black, extremely flawed because she was going to kill fucking everybody.
Yeah. You find out that everybody in that movie is just got some baggage, man. They got some skeletons,
right?
Except for Keith David.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you really see her as a love interest?
Who in Pitch Black?
Yeah,
absolutely. They did the classic bait and switch, in a good way in Pitch Black, because you think Riddick's the villain and he's the heroic air marshal. Turns out he's just a fucking mercenary. And they've got a little bit of a flirtation thing going, and then he turns into a complete dick, and then her and Riddick have really raw chemistry throughout the rest of the movie. I mean, hell, he's trying to say, hey, me and you are alike. Fuck these people. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean,
but at the same time, he's kind of testing her too.
He cut off a piece of her hair and was smelling it.
Yeah.
Well, when was the last time he was around a nice, clean, pretty lady? Just saying.
Exactly.
I actually thought it was interesting. Because to me, it felt like there was chemistry. There was obviously chemistry between some of the actors and actresses, but it felt like they had kept it pretty platonic. And I kind of liked that she wasn't there as the love interest necessarily. But I guess I see it differently.
Yeah, no, she's definitely rewatch it. She's definitely a love interest. They were definitely building up some sexual tension between them in a good way, and they didn't have to. They didn't overdo it.
Yeah,
that's
it wasn't over the top. It was kind of it was so, but
But yeah, like you said, with him cutting the hair off.
Yeah, towards the end though, that's why you could tell that like her getting killed, like it bothered him.
Oh yeah, it practically broke something inside of him.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that she said she was going to die for them, but not for him. And that, then she ended up dying, saving him. So yeah, fucked him up. Okay. So Riddick, I think my biggest complaints other than the dog are
is it just the killing of the dog?
No, then the rushed opening. It's like he gets fucked over in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was
frustrating.
Yeah. That was because you wanted to see what was going on with him,
right?
As the Lord Marshal, man. He's got all these people bowing before him at the end of Chronicles, and you're just like, yeah, he's the. And then I remember watching the trailer, and I was just like, what happened to the necromongers, man?
Exactly. I want to you jarred us away from Pitch Black with this big Dune epic, and then you snatched it away in the first 5 minutes of this movie in a very rushed, voiced over explanation of events.
He went from Prince to back to Pauper again.
Hey, although Carl Urban showed up and probably showed up for next to nothing, man, because he was like personally thanking Carl Urban for, doing that, which he probably would have, seeing as how, Carl Urban's just.
He's a cool motherfucker.
Yeah, he is pretty cool.
Let's see if I got any more slides from this movie. Now, I couldn't find too many images for this one.
Real quick, can I share something?
Yeah, please do.
Okay. Here we go. Since we brought him up again, this is Carl Urban on Xena and Hercules.
Yep.
Caesar.
Yep.
Cupid. Xena's first sweet love interest when she was younger.
and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but it was just like he played so many different characters on just Hercules and Xena.
The fact that he's such a chameleon actor, he can play different roles in the same films or TV show.
I totally forgot he was in Lord of the Rings too.
Yeah, I forgot. I didn't. Yeah.
Not for very long. Oh wait, does he die? I gotta rewatch.
No, I don't think he does.
No,
that.
he doesn't. No,
Yeah,
he and the writers show up at the last minute, save everyone in the deep, and then
that's right.
And then he gets to be the next king.
Yeah, they screwed us out of the Necromanters and went backwards storytelling wise. That's kind of
it was a casualty of budget.
It's a film series. It's so but it's so disjointed.
Yeah,
that's why I think like money had an issue to.
Yeah,
like.
But what sucks is when you look at each movie individually, they're all really good. I mean, for what they are, action, sci-fi, just fucking a lot of fun popcorn movies. The reason we like going to the movies, these movies fucking have it. Well acted.
Yeah, well directed.
I'm with you though. I think the dog is my least favorite part of it. It's because when he's sitting there talking to the dog and I'm just like, and he's like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like something that Riddick would do.
I disagree with both of you. I think him and the dog is one of the best parts of the movie. I love that he's.
No, the dog. I loved the dog. It's what bothered me was the killing of the dog.
Oh, that's what I was talking about earlier.
That's what Diesel had asked you, and you said no. It's like so we thought it was the rest of the dog too. See,
no. The dog getting killed is what kind. That was another one of my least that. It pissed me off. It's like.
I think it pisses off everybody. I'm not even a huge. I mean, I like dogs, but I'm a cat person, and even I was like ready to rip somebody's throat out for that.
And to be fair, it wasn't a dog; it was a jackal beast. But still.
And I agree with Baz. I agree with Baz. Like they should have explored the elementals more. They kind of just dropped. That whole race. Like that's such a cool race to really explore.
The whole Furians and then the Necromongers in the underverse. Underbase. That's something else entirely.
Yeah, we really want more of that. So hopefully, if they started filming in August, like Blue Eyed said, and I'm not saying that you're bullshitting me, Scorpio. I just
but I mean, if he goes to Furia and finds what's left of his civilization, because they did only kill the boy children. It was only in 1 or 2 generations that they did it.
I think they may.
For all we know, there's an entire army of Furians just waiting for their savior to come up and lead them in a holy war against the Necromongers.
I think they killed. I think they killed a lot of them, but they killed the male child. They strangled like the male childs with their birth cords.
Some of them. It's even insinuated that the Lord Marshal is the one who personally wrapped the cord around Riddick's throat.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
You have to seriously wonder how much money they're going to spend on this new movie.
Hopefully enough. Man, Blue Eyed Scorpio, you came to. I'm so glad you're in this chat, man. You're feeding us everything we know.
I read that article too.
It follows Riddick as he returns to his homeworld. There we go. That's what we need.
Yep.
That's why they're calling it he barely remembers and one he fears might be left in ruins. He finds out Furians fighting for their existence against a new enemy.
See,
It's
I
like
knew
going-
one
like
of
a-
those
It's like going back to
briefcases-
Mandalore.
Yeah, sort of similar. Yeah,
Yep.
one of those briefcases that David Twohy had was, I think one of them had something to do with the Underverse. I think I'll have to find that thing that where Vin Diesel is talking about that.
I would love to see that explored. Man, with how much money some of these the streaming platforms are throwing at projects, I wish they'd just start throwing money at Vin Diesel and him to
Yeah, no kidding.
like if you can't put it on the big screen, or make one movie and then do like 2 or 3 different spin-offs series.
Yeah.
And Vin Diesel doesn't have to be in all of them, but he could be in like the main one and then have 1 or 2 others that explores like the elementals.
Be a connector between the other ones. Like he phone calls someone in another one, or he shows up to talk to someone in another one. You just get little pieces and back and forth.
Right. And they don't even have to be expected to be long running series, just like 5-8 episode miniseries here, miniseries there, another one leading up to another movie. That's all a pipe dream, because that would take way too much money. And Vin Diesel doesn't have that many houses to levy.
I did hear that the Fast and Furious stuff made him like close to a billionaire, though. Or
I bet
he was smart enough to be a producer.
Those movies are fun, but I can't see why they have taken off so well, and this thing has struggled for as many years as it has. But
No,
I think
but I'm
me and
also
Baz
the
are
mind-
saying they can't go this way, then back down, and then nobody knows what to expect from one film to the next. Are we getting Dune? Are we getting Pitch Black? Are we getting?
But I'm of the mindset of I think they personally should have killed the Fast and the Furious after Tokyo Drift. Personally, I think they just should have quit it. But that's my personal, because I think Tokyo Drift was the best out of the.
The only one I think is actually a good movie is the first one. They're fun, they're goofy, but they're not. It's not really my thing. If a group of my friends are going to see a new one, I'll go see it, even though I haven't seen like the last 2 or 3. I can walk in there and like pretty much be brought up to speed within 5 minutes, and a lot of it's just kind of the same shit but different scale each time.
I liked them all up until about 7, and then after Paul Walker died, they kind of like, I don't know. Hey man, let's go in space.
Yeah.
Well, Iron, what you were talking before about like having one main series, but then you get breakoffs and 1 or 2 characters that actually connect it all together, but they don't have to really be in all the episodes. It'd be like the Arrowverse on CW. You started with Arrow, and then Flash came by, and they had their crossovers every year or 2, but they were totally different stories. But you felt the connectedness.
That would be the only way to really do the justice to that whole universe. Would be several different TV shows, or a couple of them.
I think so. And then all like do this. If this movie makes enough money, the new one, and they could do that, do a couple miniseries that bridge the gap in between, and then do one more movie, and then just kind of see where it goes after that.
Man, people would
really branch
dig
into the
that.
animated stuff too. I think. Like
or
really
they
get
could just-
into. Oh man, they could do some serious work.
I mean, like, just think about this, man. The amount of money they've dropped into like garbage shows when we like, you know, we didn't. Sarah Connor Chronicles was canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the best things they've done post Terminator 2, and it didn't last.
Oh,
most of the movies have been shit. With the exception, I like the one with Christian Bale.
I did too. I love that.
I'm one of the few people. Okay, me and you, man.
I love that.
Hell
movie.
yeah, brother.
That was one of my favorite ones, man. I was just.
I
Like,
thought it
you
was
don't have
great.
to have Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie.
And then they're just like, nope, fuck this, and do Genesis.
Oh,
Which movie? Which movie has Christian Bale?
Terminator
Salvation. Yeah.
Huh.
It's got Sam Worthington and Christian Bale.
Right.
You don't really feel the absence of Arnold, and they have
No.
Arnold's in it is CGI Arnold, de-aged,
Yeah.
and that was fine.
That one, yeah, it was Future War. That's what we all wanted to see.
Yeah.
Right. And Sam Worthington's like a robot that doesn't know he's a robot or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
hold on. Sir Obsidian, you just mentioned one of my favorite movies of all fucking time, and that is Equilibrium with Christian
I love
Bale.
Equilibrium.
That movie is
Never
one of the
seen
most
it.
underrated
I've never seen it.
classics.
Fixing to check that
Yeah.
out.
Oh, you're gonna have to.
Oh, the Gunkatas are so
Yes.
based. I love it.
Fucking hell, that thing is great.
Ooh, I'm today. I got something to watch.
Yeah, Equilibrium.
What
I
is it
have not
about?
recommended that movie to anyone who has come back and said meh or it was shit. Everybody's like, what the fuck? How did this thing not? How am I only just now hearing about this?
Oh, dude, it took me years. Like, I'm not sure when it was, but it was till I saw The Prestige. Man, it was like years after that movie was out. I was like, wow, this movie's fucking dope.
I
That
need to
movie
add this
actually
to
did
Devil's Angels.
really well.
Never seen that movie either.
So stupid, but so good all the same. If you're talking about Equilibrium, I'll take the so good part. I mean, yeah, it's as stupid as any movie of that genre. They're all, you have to accept these types of movies for what they are, you know.
Hey, Iron.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it on the list for Devil's Angels for the movie thing that I do with Selena and Gal and Devil.
Yeah.
And he always likes to have a Bosley come on as a guest
I was
for
the first
certain
one.
movies. I can tell you him that you'd like to do it. If
If
you do
you're
it.
doing Equilibrium, fuck yeah, I can watch that movie anytime.
All right, I will see what I can do.
Cool. I'm gonna check that out, man. I got something.
Oh,
good to watch.
you're gonna dig it.
I'll tell you what you're gonna have to watch too, man. Is Terminator Zero, that anime? That is fan.
Do we want? Let's plan that for that'll be Space Jockeys next week. We will do a full season review of. Did they drop the whole season or are they doing an episode?
Yeah, it's 8 episodes. They dropped.
They're perfect. I'll watch all 8 before next Sunday. That's gonna be our thing for next week. Let's get back into Riddick. So the opening, just was my biggest problem. Looking at it as a whole, I enjoyed it. It did go back to it was basically Pitch Black 2.
Yeah, that's kind of like it was, man. They went back to the mercenary route on the planet with some alien monsters.
I wish this movie would have been the second movie. Like if somehow they could put this movie into the second and then go into Chronicles of Riddick.
See,
rewrite some of the scenes, make it this one, and then leading up to Chronicles. A movie like this would have felt like kind of bridging the gap between Pitch Black, something like this, then something as big scale as Chronicles. So you're not feeling like whiplash between each movie.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's kind of like, I think they were really hoping for Chronicles to knock that thing out of the park. And unfortunately, it just didn't hit at the box office, but I think it's become extremely popular later on, man. I don't know. I think it's fantastic. And it just, this movie is good. It kind of stinks that they didn't have the budget for it to get made.
Yeah.
But like when I watch it, I'm just like, if they make another one, I think they're going to have like a better budget and be able to do some more with it. So.
Well, I mean, that was the whole thing. Pitch Black didn't have a big budget. It did.
Pitch Black didn't have,
It did well. So they gave Chronicles a really big budget. It didn't do well. So they went back to a lower budget, see if you can make it again. And they did. So
surprisingly,
it may very well be that they're not going to give it a much bigger budget because the bigger budget failed.
I think Chronicles also suffered from the timing of its release. That little like couple years, people were very burnt out on just genre movies in general. It was Tarantino films were really big. It's just smaller, grittier,
Sin
street
City
level type movies were all the rage.
Yeah, see, like that
big epic space operas were a little out of style at the time. except for a very niche audience.
And I was checked out at that point in my life, man. It was like domestic type stuff going on, and that's why I saw it like on DVD.
Which one? Chronicles?
Yeah.
I was working at GameStop at the time, and I got my opening tickets for free.
Nice.
So all the store managers and all the everybody that worked at GameStop, we all got to go. So it was a packed theater when we went, but it was all GameStop employees that went for free.
I think I went to go see it in a drive-in movie theater, and I wasn't actually planning on seeing it, and somehow I ended up seeing it. It was the second movie.
Oh man, I love those drive-in double features, dude.
Yeah,
that was so much fun back then.
Yeah,
we've got one drive-in left here in town, and it's like in a part of town you don't really want to go in.
Yeah, would you like a nice stabbing with your movie tonight?
Right. Yeah, I'll just leave the car at the, to go to the concession stand, come back, and the tires are gone.
Yeah, man. Come back and you got gunshot wounds.
Right. That too.
I remember that seeing it in the movie theater. Literally, I spent $20 on the movie ticket and popcorn and a drink back in the day. Right.
Oh my God. We can't just me and my wife going to the theater is close to $100 just if we want to get snacks, and if we don't want to go during the day, which neither one of us can with the work schedule and everything else. I love going to a matinee, but if you want to go to a theater that's comfortable and in the evening, you're spending about $25 a ticket, and then if you get a couple drinks and a large popcorn, that's about another $35-$45.
Yeah, I wanted to go see. That's why I was like, I think I saw Alien Romulus, and I want to say the ticket was maybe $14-$15 and got a drink. I inquired about the popcorn bucket. Then when they told me it was like $30, I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Not that cool.
Wear a big jacket in the movie theater, put all your candy
and
stuff in there.
Yeah, I that's the way to go. Just sneaking your shit in there.
Man, when I saw The Matrix for the third time, me and my buddy snuck a bunch of beer in there.
Nice. So Blue-Eyed Scorpio. So Vin wanted to try to make Riddick a standalone movie that didn't require seeing the other movies based on the low budget and the time between that and Chronicles. That makes
sense.
Yeah,
that does make perfect sense.
And
I personally, I still disagree with you guys, and I still don't mind it as a third movie in the series. But this also does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't mind. I like the movie a lot. I think there's great acting, and the characters are all memorable in this movie too.
I liked it too. When I'm saying which ones I liked, in order, I'm not saying I disliked any of them, because this is a series I want desperately to keep going to get it resurrected. And hearing that it just started filming on the 26th of last month is pretty good timing. Fucking news.
Yeah,
that's just a week ago.
Yeah,
cool.
Hope Vin Diesel's in shape for it.
Yeah, he needs to put down the corona.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago they were like the magazine
showed a picture of him with his like shirt off, and I was like, man, that dude ain't been doing nothing, sitting around drinking beer.
Got the Elon gut going on.
Yeah. Let's see. The supporting cast of this one was good. This one kind of suffered, whereas Pitch Black, you kind of cared when a lot of the characters were killed off, and this one you were rooting for most of them.
Yep.
to die, with the exception of Katie Sackhoff's character. That was sad. And
the young kid who was with the the dumbass mercs.
But hey, at least the other characters got acting experience.
You know what really?
And the girl that sucked.
Yeah,
the young girl.
Oh yeah. Head in the box guy was like, I'm like, this dude is like, man, he's like a next level asshole, dude. God, what a douche. He's just going around trying to make enemies of everybody. I was like, well, good luck with that. But
I forgot, how did Dave Bautista's character die?
No, he when they went back to go get the power nodes, he was gonna kill him. He was gonna kill Riddick, and Riddick had like a nice stash there, so he took care of him first.
I thought he cut his head off or something.
Yeah, no, he cut head.
Created like a giant switchblade.
Oh yeah.
He was slashed through the shoulder to death with a sword by Ben.
Oh yeah. He cut him. Yeah,
Okay.
he jumped up and got it because he was gonna kill all of them, him and Johns, and leave him in.
And just take the power.
Yeah, he sabotaged one of their
bikes,
rocket motorcycles, or space motorcycle.
It just
you know what
amazes me
really
how many things.
Oh, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Oh, I said it just amazes me how many random things David Bautista's also in as well. Like that guy has a weird range of acting talent, and you just do not expect it from him. Yeah. But anyways.
Well, I mean, in some ways, when like WWE, WWF, whatever the frick it's called these days, when those people go into acting, they're not all great, but they have a certain amount of range and experience from just the bullshit
the
soap opera crap from
they are
wrestling.
acting.
Yeah.
Some of them are actually really good actors, and I think Dave Bautista's one of them. He's in that new M. Night Shyamalan movie. I think it's M. Night.
The spy movie.
Oh, he was good in the beginning of Blade Runner 2049. Man.
Yeah,
doesn't he play some kind of spy or something?
No, I was talking about the one where this family goes to a cabin, and then this group of these really creepy people come up and say that they have to, in order to save the world, which is like starting to fall apart, like they see it on the news and everything, all this shit's happening, they have to sacrifice one of their family members, or I think one of their kids. It's a real fucked up situation.
Oh no! Oh, what you're talking about? Yeah, I saw the preview. I saw the trailer for that. That is insane.
He's not playing like Mr. like whoa wrestler. He's just a big creepy guy.
Yeah,
he does a good job at it. I like,
and he's also good at he's also good at self mockery and like playing like a really sweet character that you don't expect from his size and his looks.
He stole the Guardians movies. I mean, he really fucking Drax. Even though that's not comic book accurate Drax by any means, but that his version of Drax is just so fucking endearing. That's such a great character. The way
Scorpio
and the way
has a new one from the chat. Blood Scorpio from the chat. You gotta pick.
Which one? Oh, from Rizzing from Rizzing Judi Dench to how he's done some Ryan Reynolds type shit to get these Riddick movies. I'm gaining respect for him. I guess Reynolds actually pulled a Vin Diesel since he did it first. Exactly.
Yep.
No, I really like Vin Diesel, and I actually have when we get to the games, I do have a personal Vin Diesel story because I met him not like in a personal setting, it was a convention type setting that we got to go to when he was promoting the Riddick games, and he was just one of the fucking sweetest fucking dude, just as far as celebrities you meet, because you meet some dickheads if you live like I'm in Vegas, so you've run into a few, and it's like, oh hi, and then fuck you. He was walking around. He sat at his booth, talked to people. They promoted the shit out of the game, and then he just walked around fucking talking to,
that's so cool.
GameStop employees and convention people there trying to, he was trying to sell his game, but he didn't. He could have just like, okay, there's the thing, and just fucked off, which would have been the norm. He didn't have an entourage or anything. He was just cool, just acted like a normal guy. You could hear his voice, especially if he laughed, from over all of the sea of other voices there. It was fucking crazy.
There are a couple celebrities that, especially in the con environment, that are just amazingly cool, down to earth, good people. I know I was friends with one of the guys who was running all the assistants for the stars at New York Comic-Con. And Kevin Sorbo was supposed to go back to his hotel, but they were having trouble getting the car out. They were having trouble getting the car out that was supposed to take him. He goes, it's only a few blocks away. I can walk. It's not a problem. And the assistant's going, no. We'll get you there. I promise. And he goes, it's sweet. It's fine, kid. Don't worry. He literally just walks out of the Javits Center and just strolls down the avenue. And when they finally show up with the car, my friend who was the boss is going, where's Kevin Sorbo? He went to his hotel. How? He walked. You let him just walk out? If he was like, I couldn't stop him. Like, he was just like, this is too much.
He's a grown man.
I don't need all this.
No, Kevin Sorbo's just a fucking guy. Like his tweets are based as fuck. And I watching him on Temple, like he's just talking about like normal guy shit, you know, like
and Christopher Judge, the guy who played Teal'c in Stargate SG-1.
That is a random guy. Like
in real life, he never stopped smiling. Yeah. He has the biggest smile. He is so nice. He had shut down his entire area, and I was in my wheelchair, and I kind of stopped so I could take a picture of where he'd been. He goes, "Did you want to see me?" I said, I know you're closer. No. And he had them open up the whole thing to bring my chair in just to see me, even though he was supposed to be going home.
Oh, wow.
Really, really sweet dude.
The only dick celebrity I've ever met was William Shatner. I volunteer. I was with a Star Trek group, and I had been volunteering at one of his little horse charity things. And he has a very specific policy: you cannot touch him at all.
He's a germaphobe.
Yeah. So, like, I remember one of his security people, I guess one of his fans or whatever at the little charity, tried to, I guess, shake his hand, and his security tackled this poor little, like, 13-year-old kid. I remember seeing this. I'm like, whoa. So, yeah, that was probably the only dick one. The most random celebrity I met was, I went to Arnold Schwarzenegger when he ran for governor. I went to his rally. That guy's short.
Yeah, he's not a tall guy. He's just big.
Yeah.
No, they always have to make him look taller in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got into a
I'm like,
1
I'm
hour.
5'10". I'm like, this guy's short.
I've always heard Arnold's extremely personable. Like he's very down to earth. You know?
At New York Comic Con 1 year, Shatner had this thing that you basically had to get in a raffle to get in, and I got lucky enough to get in. It was 1 hour with William Shatner, and we're in this small breakout room, and all he wanted to talk about was his music. He's making this cosmic music. I'm like, dude, cool, but can we talk about Trek?
He doesn't want to talk about Trek. You know what I've heard though later, like more recently over the past, like maybe, 10 years or so, is he's gotten way up there in age. He has he's gotten more warmed up to the Trek thing.
I've heard that, and I've seen some stuff that would make me believe that. And it was just so funny because I'm like, dude, we won the raffle ticket to hear you talk about Trek. We had to stand in line or do something. I was like, and one kid even said, "Can you do just one con for us?" And he goes, "No."
That's the same year that I met Vin Diesel. I met Todd McFarlane too, and he's got the reputation. He's kind of a shit amongst kind of like all creatives to each other. Him and Liefeld both back and forth with each other over the years, and they've made up, and they all the inner fighting bullshit. But when it comes to the fans, Todd McFarlane, I've never met Liefeld. I'd love to. I think Liefeld's fucking awesome. Fuck all the haters. I know he's done some shit, but still, the dude fucking made the 90s comics what they were, for better or worse. But back to McFarlane, that same year at that convention or conference I was at for GameStop, he was there, and he sat there for hours signing. Nobody paid for anything. You brought in your own shit, and if you didn't have him, he had Spawn issue 1 reprints ready to just give you and sign it. And he took sometimes 5-10 minutes, whatever stories or somebody wanting to talk his ear off. He engaged with every single person. He didn't like stop and then go mingle, which is what Vin Diesel did, but that's fine because he didn't have shit to sign anyway. He was selling his game. But then he hung out and was cool with it, walking around. and shit. But McFarlane just sat there. Somebody walk up, talk to him as long as he wanted. He signed a thing. If they brought stuff because we all knew he would be there. One dude had fucking a stack of figures and he signed every single one.
Wow.
Charged nothing.
Wow.
And he wasn't even there promoting anything. I'm sure they paid him to be there, something like a
but still,
fee,
wow.
But still, yeah.
Yeah, as someone who's
he'd come around the table, take pictures.
Cool.
This one girl cried when he saw him, and he's hugging her. He's just
oh my god,
that's
so cool.
Really cool to his fans.
Who was that?
Todd McFarlane. Because
cool.
you stepped away. I was telling him, Diesel, when the game came out. This falls in line with how I got the tickets for Chronicles of Riddick. Butcher Bay, they were promoting Butcher Bay on Xbox, and I went to this convention or conference that had GameStop and other. I think there may have been other game realtors there too. I don't remember if it was an exclusive GameStop one or not, but Vin Diesel was there, and he was just the coolest fucking down to earth dude.
Oh, dope, man! Like that game is so good. Like it like I got 2004 was kind of a cool year, so like I believe like I had gotten a new computer and stuff, and I got into some games that year. I remember like I got a new computer because Doom 3 had come out. I think it came out in like 2003 maybe, but then I had went back like maybe 2008 or so, and I was just looking for PC games because you used to could like buy games and stuff like in stores before Steam got real big. And I was like, best games of 2004, and every single thing I checked had Butcher Bay on there. It was best shooters I was looking for is what it was, because I just pretty much like played shooters, still do. And I played it and I was like, man, this is cool because like probably that's got to be the best movie tie-in game ever.
I think so. And the fact that and we'll get to that in a minute. We'll finish up with this one, but the way that it did serve as another way of bridging, kind of filling in some of the gaps in the story.
Yeah, it took place, but it took place before Pitch Black.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because he
talks
about
Hauser's characters.
Cole Hauser was on the game too. Man, there were a bunch of people. Like Exhibit did a voice in that game.
Oh, dude, you're right.
Ron Perlman did a guy. There were several people in that game.
Oh man, Ron Perlman's such a tool, but man, he's
he's great in his video game characters.
Yep.
Separate the art
from
the
actor. Yep, you got to separate yourself. That with the ones that will allow you, some of them just they don't allow you to separate anymore. Like, God bless Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill's just
or George Takei.
Yeah. George Takei's always been a piece of shit. He's funny.
Yeah, but he's always hated William Shatner and been so jealous of him. It's great.
Yeah. It's like they're both dicks in their own right, but come on.
I don't know. Shatner used to go on a Conan O'Brien all the time in the 90s, man. It was funny as hell.
Oh, he was, yeah. All right, let's wrap up with Riddick. So I said my piece of what I liked and didn't like about it. I think I also this one had some of the best fight choreography. Now they did overuse a lot of the slow-mo effects.
Yeah,
like doing it once or twice is fine, but doing it almost every fight scene is a little much.
Another thing that stands out in this movie, and it's sounds a lot of times do it. When they've got the little thing that's looking, the noise that thing went, that sounds so good. It's very similar to when they switch on that gravity thing in Chronicles of Riddick. I love that freaking that sound is so good. It's just like, and it sounds good on like dang near any TV or whatever when you hear it. It's just one of those things that just sounds good.
If you got a little subwoofer and just a a cheap soundbar and subwoofer, it's great.
Yeah,
so you're 100% right. The sound editing in all three of these movies is some of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, Remdog 1138 literally ran into Lou Ferrigno at Comic-Con as a child. He scared me to death. All my sins remembered. Followed him to his booth and bought his autobiography. Lou Ferrigno is fucking awesome.
Yes, he is, man. That's like, it was great seeing him in the Edward Norton Hulk movie. I like that movie a lot, man. It was cool.
He was even in the crappy Ang Lee one too, but I'm with you, man. I love the Edward Norton version of Incredible Hulk. I wish we could have seen Edward Norton and that director's actual vision for the movie instead of the studio and Kevin Feige kind of pushing there. We need it to, mesh well with
was Kevin Feige even involved in 2008?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, he was. He wasn't the head of it yet. He wasn't top dog because the other guy hadn't stepped down yet or been forced out.
That was still,
they hadn't committed their coup yet, but he was the second in command basically.
When Tim Roth took that the super soldier serum, I was like hitting my brother. I was like, that's what Captain America's gonna be like, dude, man. When I was all fired. I was like, it's gonna be badass, man.
All right, so Riddick, before we get into the games and the anime, anybody want to share their thoughts on this film specifically?
I mean, I liked it. It was very grungy. It's just, I don't know. It just, the background characters didn't connect with me.
I agree.
I mean, Vin Diesel, I mean, I liked it. It's just, I don't know. It's just something was off about that movie. And I just didn't really connect with it as much. I wish I wanted to connect with it. I just couldn't.
I'm kind of with you. I liked it a lot.
I actually liked the difference. I like seeing the two different sides of the mercs.
Yeah.
That there are some that actually have honor and they're not just all scumbags. And
yeah, Johns was a great character.
Yeah, and I don't know. I thought I actually liked seeing the two sides and how they didn't like or respect each other, let alone how the convicts feel about them and everything. It was just, I don't know. For me personally, I really enjoyed it, and I think I've seen it like 12 times.
I watched it. I rewatched it,
and
like about a week.
I appreciate being invited. You guys have been the best, and I've had so much fun with this because it's one of my favorite franchises. But I'm gonna have to go. So
no problem.
Yeah.
You got anything you what you gonna be doing the rest of the week? If you got anything you want to say before you go?
Wednesday with the Common Nerd. Saturday with MSK, and actually, I don't know, Iron, if you saw, but we may be moving Dungeons and Dragons to this coming Saturday since Strider won't be there next Saturday. And
okay.
I think that's it.
Sure.
I know
Once a month, Star Trek.
Yeah, and the Star Trek retrospective third Sunday of every month with Surly Durly. Except last month I screwed some stuff up and we didn't actually have one. So, but we will this month. I will make sure it happens.
Right on.
You guys have a good night. You guys have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your conversation and the games.
Thanks for hanging out, man.
Anytime you guys want me to come in and talk about all the geeky stuff I love, I'm happy to
know
come.
what it's about, you're welcome to join. That goes to everybody.
Cool. Night, y'all.
See you later. Whew, now that she's gone.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have a dude party.
Yeah, dude bro party.
Well, like I said, where my knowledge of the movies go, I just have knowledge of the movies, not the game or anime or stuff. So I will take it from you guys' expertise from the movies on. So, yep.
Yeah,
I like
this movie is kind of a love-hate thing.
Yeah, I like it, and rewatching it, there's a lot of it that I really like. It looks good. That I think it was kind of, I don't know. It just seemed like they had to work with it's like the story's constrained. They hadn't been out. It's been several years, and I can see how they kind of did this. But I like it. It's pretty cool. It did kind of suck that you only got a little bit of the necromongers there at the beginning, about a 5 or 6 minute
thing,
and it would have been better.
Gritty action.
the more I like it. I like Katie Sackhoff in this movie. I also like the fact that like Johns and his crew, they're the whole time they're like respectful and they're just like, you do realize who this is, right? So they just sit back and are drinking coffee and watching these idiots, get killed one after another.
Yep, fucking off.
Sackhoff isn't a jack off.
How about this? I won't lift a finger to help you until you ask me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then eventually Head in a Box gets, that guy was just, he's awful.
Yeah.
And the ending was great too when Johns comes back for him.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was pretty.
That
cool,
was a big fuck yeah moment.
Yeah, because like you
kind of surprising. The only you usually have like two, like it'd be like the stronger character and then a weaker character being the sole survivor, like a kid, a woman, or just family, something like that, like in Pitch Black or any other movies kind of following that same trope. This one is just two fucking badass dudes, and then they're the one everybody else fucked up through the whole. They literally all fucked up with the exception of just a few of them that had that were a little more on the tragic side. But again, you're kind of rooting for everybody's death except for the two that lived.
Yep.
Yeah. But it was, I like it. It's not, I would have liked something like more grandiose like Chronicles of Riddick, but hey man, if it keeps it going, and obviously they got something going on, hopefully Furia will do something, man. It's like,
that's what I'm talking about. I'm very excited to hear that they started some production on that. And it's kind of cool. It's been so long. There was a 10-year gap between Chronicles and this. There's about I think an 11-year gap now from this to God, it's going to be longer because it just
what year was Riddick? 2013.
13. And Chronicles was 2004, so 9-year, I guess. Well, if you count in production time, it was a solid 10 easily.
And it's crazy how little he aged. Vin Diesel aged in that time period.
Well, he did a little. You could tell he's a lot older in this movie than especially if you go back and watch. Pitch Black and Chronicles of Riddick.
Well, that's what I was saying. This might be cool. Kind of getting an old man Riddick by the time.
Get off my lawn, you damn mercs!
Right.
More grizzled, fucking. As long as he, if he can, fit the part still, which I'm sure he can. Fuck, I'm here talking shit like, I hope he gets in shape. Where's my fucking Coke? But I guess moving on from the film series, then we go right into the game series. We've got, well, before that, has everybody seen Chronicles of Riddick, Dark Fury, the anime?
I saw it, but it's been a few years. I was trying to find the version I could watch last week or whatnot, and I couldn't find one except it was in German, and I'm like, I can't watch this.
No.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. I just don't.
I remember about it. It takes place after Pitch Black. They're on the ship. They're on that escape ship, and they get picked up by some. They get picked up by a ship, and it's got this lady on it, and whatever her crew is.
And all the voice actors are the actual cast, that were anybody that was in the movie was voiced by their live action counterpart. So
and you gotta love
Keith
that.
David, Vin Diesel, and the chick that played Jack.
Jack, yeah. It was done by really hot at the time French animator that did Eon Flux.
Yep, that's why
Phantom 2099.
And you can
I
see that
appreciate this art style. It's good. It's just not. It's not really.
It doesn't.
Me, I guess
it doesn't really fit.
It's flashy.
It doesn't fit the characters that well either.
The very, very exaggerated facial expressions and elongated limbs, like the guy, it's beautiful. It's great art. It's just at the same time, it's like, oh, I wish they picked somebody else.
It's a Stewart artwork. Look what I could do. Look what I could do.
Well, I mean, it's good. And I loved Eon Flux. I like this stuff, but at the same time, and it was very hot at that particular time period. All those shows, God, if you haven't seen Phantom 2099 from, I think, the late 90s when that was on, it was too weird to keep on for a kid's show, but it was so good.
Yeah, Aeon Flux was really weird.
Very weird. Very, very fucking weird, but good.
You gotta watch that while you're high on something.
Yeah, very trippy. You can tell it was inspired by like I can't remember the author's name, but he did Blade Runner. You know, why do androids dream of electric sheep? I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but it was good, and I do recommend it if you're you're watching this and you're like, oh, I want to revisit the Pitch Black universe. I would definitely include this in the watch list. But if you're not familiar with this style,
don't jump into
very
it.
popular. You're gonna have to get used to the way, like, ooh, it looks
weird
so,
proportions and exaggerated in strange ways.
Everything, long necks,
like it's almost like you're looking up at everybody, and they're all giants.
You know what it reminds me of? The Ghostbusters, the 2000 Ghostbuster animated series. Yeah, that's
Ghostbusters Extreme.
Yeah,
dude, fucking, that was another hidden gem because so many people that grew up on the real Ghostbusters, which was a great, cartoon series.
Yeah.
Then you see that, you're like, what the fuck? But then
why is there a guy in a
the
wheelchair?
storylines go so dark in that fucking show.
Yeah.
And
they
do tie-ins to the original real Ghostbusters, and they make that. It's like, man, when I saw that as a kid, I didn't think about how horribly twisted that storyline was. I mean,
everybody
like child murders and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
But yes, not a lot I can say about this. It was good. Good animated film, beautifully animated, but jarring, because that's the word of the day, folks, is jarring.
But it's forgettable. Unfortunately, it's forgettable.
It is. It is kind of forgettable. Now, the games, on the other hand, are not. They are some top tier and best. What are they? When they do a video game based on a movie, or what are those called? There's a word for it.
Like a movie tie-in, or
there's tie-in or licensed. Those kind of you don't usually, especially back then. This is before they had actually made a decent Batman game. So before the Arkham series, because before then they all, you say like, ooh, a Spider-Man game might be good or bad. Well, Spider-Man's usually good, but Batman, fucking, if it's based on a movie, they made threw fucking video game based movies out left and right, and they were always trash, bad quality, glitchy, just
they threw them together, man.
GoldenEye,
dude.
Oh, GoldenEye was great.
GoldenEye was great. I bought that Transformers 2007 tie-in game for PC. Let me tell you something. I tried a couple months ago to try replaying that game. I gave up on it. I don't know who designed any of the driving stages, but I've never seen more garbage oversteer in a vehicle. I mean, and I've driven old vehicles, and I'm like, this is awful. It's just most of those movie tie-in games are garbage. I think the Spider-Man 2 game back in the day was also good. The one from 2002. Yes.
There were some diamonds in the rough. Batman Begins was an incredible game. Pre-Arkham. In fact, I think that they kind of they kind of looked at how good the game mechanics and the stealth and everything that you did in Batman Begins, and they kind of adopted it a little bit and made, definitely improved upon for the Arkham series. But yeah, 9 out of 10 movie tie-in games were always bullshit. And then with a few exceptions sprinkled on.
And then this,
but then you had something like this. It is just
this is not it's the movie tie-in game. This is a great game. One that like you just play is fantastic, man. And it's got some cool elements in it too. Like some of the stealth elements are.
If it didn't cost just almost as much to make a fucking movie as it does a game, it'd be like all he has to do is do the voice of Riddick forever and just keep it a fucking game series to tell the rest of the stories. If they're as good as this one was, the next one's good too. It definitely looked better.
Yeah.
But
the remastered version of this was it was just perfect.
Butcher Bay was it's a badass fucking game.
It is so good.
If you can get it on Steam, I had it on Xbox. It would have been 360.
I had
Steam right now.
I had played the original version because it came out on PC, and I'd gotten the original version. Then I got Assault on Dark Athena from GOG, like good old game, and it had the remastered version of Butcher Bay, and man, it's such a good game, man. Like, I mean, I love shooters, but it's just like the game mechanics. Like a lot of times, whenever they throw a movie game together, they put I don't even know if they test some of them, man. They come out so broken and just awful. Mm-hmm. This is like, man, this was made by gaming people, because you've got parts where if you hide in the shadows, you can disappear. Then you've got
a first-person shooter with like solid stealth elements.
Yeah,
that work.
And it's got and then you've got the hand-to-hand fighting that takes it takes you a little bit to get used to, man, because it's a little bit.
I was wrong that I fucking showing how old I am now. This game was on Xbox.
Yeah, it's 2004.
I should have known, because I don't even remember if I was still working at GameSpot when 360 came out. I honestly can't remember, but I was definitely there during all the way through the entire lifespan of the Xbox. So yeah, in 2004. So you'd have to either find a way to get it on computer. It's not on Steam, or if you have lucky enough to still have an Xbox or even an Xbox 360, because I'm pretty sure they were backwards compatible, to find this game and off eBay. That'd probably be the only way to play it, but it was so fucking good. And the storyline.
Yeah. It is awesome, because you hear him mention something about Butcher Bay in
Pitch Black.
Yeah, and in Chronicles of Riddick. Yeah.
Yeah, I was always a PlayStation guy. That's probably why I never played this game.
Yeah.
So. Yep. So I'm taking the back seat here.
Yeah, I think Microsoft got the exclusivity to both that game, this one and the next one. Now, this one was good. It just, what did you think? Did you play the Assault on Dark Athena and like it just as much?
Yeah,
I like Butcher Bay more.
Yeah, I like Butcher Bay better.
This one also felt quicker, but man, it looked so much better. And both games still, even to this day, if I can skip ahead, I think I got some screenshots. Like, that's Butcher Bay. It still looks, I mean, it looks dated, but it doesn't look bad.
No.
But then when
some of the cutscenes might be a little bit, but like the whole the graphics the playability is so good that it's just like, even with the original graphics, it's fine.
Yeah,
and there's
playability, that's 100%.
Because like there's so many different elements you got in there. You get the stealth thing, you've got some like hand-to-hand combat, then you can get some weapons, then you can get in a freaking giant mech and just start wrecking stuff. Although that thing is the way it walks is a little wonky and shaky, but it fits. It moves you around like you were actually standing in that thing, man, or sitting in it or whatnot. It's a fantastic game. I want to replay it, man. I really want to replay it, and I used to have it burned on disc, but I was
What
just
was
looking
the
at
purpose of this? Like, what do you have to do in this game specifically?
It's you're breaking out of a prison.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's escape from
And that's kind of the same, and that's why Dark Athena was kind of the same way, but man, it looked so much better. And I know this is dated too by today's standards, but it just it got a lot better looking by the second game.
Oh man,
So
there's
it's not going to be as
I found that
as unpleasant.
If you got a PC, man, there's one of these game sites that has a digital download. You can buy it for $13.31.
Oh, there
I'm
you
gonna
go.
have. I'm gonna have.
That's how you do it. And a game that old, that's going to be like maybe 3-4 gig tops. It's not going to take up any space.
Yeah.
It's not. You don't even have to have a good rig to fucking play this and make it.
No, man, and it's like you can play the remastered version of Butcher Bay since it's Assault on Dark Athena. You get that and the remastered Butcher Bay, which is.
Do you have a link for that? Put it in the private chat because I'm actually going to get it when I get paid again. Well, hell, if it's that cheap, I can.
Yeah, I might actually end up playing it.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, you don't. You wouldn't need a really powerful PC to do it. I'm gonna pull up.
Yeah,
some gameplay here.
It's Kingwin. Kingwin's a legit site too, man. Because I bought they're usually if I buy a Steam game, I get it from them because they're almost 99% of the time, unless Steam has some kind of one of their ridiculous sales. That place is cheaper than Steam.
$13.
Yeah, I can actually afford that game. Yeah, here's some gameplay. Let me get this pulled up.
We're moving again. They just transmitted a safe route through the minefield.
See, that's 𝐷𝐿, dude. And once you see the still shots of these older games, and you're like, oh god, how could I even play that again? But once you see it moving, it's like it's fine. It is
fine, man. I still play Quake 3.
Same. I play a lot. I still like a lot of older games, but I'm just saying, especially if you haven't played anything but the newer titles with the really crisp, clean graphics, going back to something like this might be a little hard, but you'll get used to it.
Odds and you're going to get taking me to Butcher Bay. You think 𝐷𝐿's memory is that short?
He gets one look at you, Riddick, and all is forgiven. And I bank your bounty plus 50.
Plus 50? Now come on, Johns. Greed is an ugly thing.
You're in no position to negotiate, Riddick.
Wait, real quick. Wasn't the guy in the guy who lives in Riddick the movie, John? I thought his name was Johns too.
Yeah, it's his dad.
Oh, that's right.
That's why he came down. He came after Riddick looking to find out what happened to his son who died.
That's right. He tells him he's a junkie. Okay.
Yeah, and he doesn't believe him.
That's right. That's why he's like, you're a better man than your son was.
Yeah, he said, you keep that spine or strong spine or something like that.
Landing at Butcher Bay in an hour. Buckle up. Turbulence from an incoming sandstorm is expected. Hang on till we're through it.
Oh yeah, I forgot you don't like this part. Statistically, landings are the most dangerous.
You got nothing left to live for, Riddick. I do. Now shut up, would you?
You're already counting it, aren't you?
I said shut up.
Let's jump ahead to some gameplay here. And see, I'm not a big first-person shooter fan either. I got through this game just fine, and I liked the way that they did that for certain actions.
It cuts to third person.
It cuts to third person, and I could be completely wrong, but at least at the time, and again, I didn't play that many first-person shooters because it's not really my jam. I like a third-person game, Yeah, I hadn't seen that often, and you saw that a lot more.
I hadn't seen that because I played almost exclusively first person shooters, and like that was always thought that was pretty cool how it would jump to third person and then you could move around like that. The only other game I remember cutting from first to third like that was Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast, which I think is the best Star Wars game ever made.
Yeah.
When you went to lightsaber, it cut into third person because if you put it on first person with lightsaber, it was weird.
Didn't Star Wars Battlefront do that too?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm 90% sure. My favorite Star Wars game is still Knights of the Old Republic, and followed by, I would have to say, Jedi Outcast. But I'm a basic bitch that way, so.
Jedi Outcast is good. That game's hard as crap.
Good. But dude, KOTOR is fucking unbeatable in my opinion.
Guards with shotguns. Have to kill him to take it.
Hey, prisoner, show yourself.
That was a weird way he said,
That smell. Sewers. Could be a way out.
And you got, and Vin Diesel doing the narration throughout the whole thing. Everything about this game just worked, and it was, it didn't suffer being a movie tie-in at all. In fact, that made it even better. And like you said, man, this thing was on like just the top gaming list, and that's was pretty unheard of, at least at the time, for a licensed.
Yeah, exactly. It's like most of them are just or garbage, and it's like, especially like I kept looking at it, and it took me several times. I was like, Chronicles of Riddick, I'll check it out. And then when I started playing, I was like, oh, it's a shooter. This is great. So it's that's a really cool game, man. There's so many parts of it too, man. Even on, it's definitely got a ton of replayability too, man. There are parts that are like genuinely kind of hard to figure out, and it's like I think this is one where you can do quick save, which means and you can save whenever you want to, which games that had that were usually really hard. Like nowadays they get checkpoints and stuff like that, but like back in the day, like especially like with Jedi Outcast and stuff, man, you better save in certain spots, because if you go up like 30 seconds, you're about to be just like dead.
And here is the last thing we're going to talk about, because we are running a little over on time. Sorry to keep everybody here going on 3 hours. That's a lot of Riddick.
Yeah, man. Well, it's cool.
But this has been a blast. And again, the reason we do this show, it is fucking nice to really just talk about something you genuinely like and enjoy, and breaks up the bullshit of, what's Disney fucking up next, or what's being remade or changed, or just everything sucking.
Yeah, it's good to go into.
We got to talk about a really good, underrated, overshadowed by fucking Fast and the Furious. In fact, that's why the whole thing I brought this up. They always tie in Fast and the Furious to this series, and it just pisses me off, because they couldn't be more different. The only thing they have in common is fucking Vin Diesel.
Exactly. And it's a totally different character.
Mm-hmm. But here, go back to Dark Athena. I like how it gives it a movie opening.
Yeah, opening.
That cinematic feel. ahead a
They're
little
letting
bit.
you know the graphics are upgraded in this one. Oh wait, this is a good game. I forgot about certain parts of this.
Now, where does this one in the story take place? It's been so long since I fucking played this.
This takes, I think. Let me see.
You'll look it
Good
up.
grief, man. It's been so long since I've played it. I gotta figure out. This is either it takes place after Butcher Bay and
according to Google, Dark Athena takes place on a huge mercenary ship that is run by Gail Rabius and her second in command Spinner. It takes
right
off
after
Butcher Bay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right
so
after Butcher
it's
Bay.
just immediately after. So this is still before Pitch Black.
Yeah. I forgot about
as
all
old
this
as this
stuff on
is,
the
it still looks
planet.
great. This game still looks good.
I forgot about all the stuff on this. This part is awesome too. I think I like this part more than the stuff on the ship.
Still leaps and bounds better than Last of Us.
Turn the volume down on a little bit. Now, I just remember being a little underwhelmed by this. It was it was shorter.
Yeah.
It wasn't as exciting, I guess you'd say, as Butcher Bay, but I still really liked it.
Butcher
and if
Bay
you can get
had
both
that-
games, you can get both games for $13, and you don't need much more than a fucking laptop to actually play them.
Yeah.
And there's no reason not to fucking get it. So I'm definitely going to be doing that. Let me jump ahead to get a little more of the action.
This can't be good. It never is.
Fucking harpooned a spaceship. There we go. We got some more of the actual gameplay is what I'm looking for here.
That's right. Those drone guys, their guns are keyed to them, and sometimes you have to drag a body around and shoot people with it.
Ah. Yeah, I got hit with the nostalgia, man. I'm picking these up, and I think I was gonna, right after I finished Stellar Blade, which I may or may not even do on a stream. I might just knock that out and start a whole new game later on and stream that. But I'm really thinking about doing these two games and then Alien Isolation.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing too. I went and reinstalled Alien Isolation after watching Romulus. That's a hard game, man. You agree?
Oh,
I beat it on
so
hard.
Fucking fun. That game, and again, just survival horror is my favorite genre game. Like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, all that shit, and fucking Clock Tower. So many, and that Alien Isolation is probably the best survival horror game I've played. Having to hide from the fucking xenomorph.
Yeah,
and then once you get to the end, when you're finally are blasting the shit out of them as they're fucking swarming all over. It's so satisfying.
Yeah, man, that's a fantastic game. It never got a sequel.
No, but I don't. I guess it could have. should have got one. I mean, it sold enough. It was a hit game.
IGN gave it I think IGN gave it something like a 5.
Fuck off.
It was like, it's one of the most notorious garbage ratings ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like in the small clips you played, I did like the fact that you had to go out of your way to find items that weren't easily seen. I did like that aspect of it, and
that's a huge aspect of the games. Yeah, it's a lot of that. It's, if you're expecting just a straight up first person shooter, it's not that.
No, you gotta look around for stuff. You'll miss stuff. You gotta and it's not gonna
puzzle solving.
Yeah, and it's not gonna hold your hand either. Like these new games, it's like, we'll give you some help. Here, it's like, nah, get out there and quit being a pussy.
It doesn't have a giant neon sign right in front of the item you need to be picked up, saying, "Hey, you know what? It's right there. Pick it up now."
I think some of the guns are highlighted when they're on the ground. Sometimes
they'll have like a little, there'll be like just something to catch your eye, but not overwhelming. Like, it's right
they
here.
They know there's no HUD.
Well, closing arguments on Riddick. Before we wrap up here. Hold on. Well, let's wrap up with the chat real quick. Blue-Eyed Scorpio, Last of Us is one of my favorite games. It's actually my favorite game of all time. The Last of Us. That is my favorite game of all time. I got sucked in the story, and I will not apologize. I feel no shame. No, if you're talking about The Last of Us 1, The Last of Us 2, great gameplay. It's just more of the same, but the storyline fucking killed it. They killed their franchise. But nobody's taken away Last of Us 1. Great. My favorite game of all time. And Walter S. Diesel is more of a meme than an icon these days. I thought he was talking about you, Diesel.
I did too for a second, and I was like,
whoa, Walter, what the fuck, man? But
icon?
He was the man in the early 2000s. I think he could be coming back, dude. Especially if they pull off what are they calling this new one real quick?
As long as he doesn't become oversaturated,
Furia,
like The Rock,
yeah, man, The Rock's so burnt out, man. It's like if I never saw him in anything.
They did kind of oversaturate Vin Diesel in the early days. That's how he kind of got that meme status. But he hasn't really been, other than doing voice work and a few things here and there. He hasn't been in as much. Getting old man Riddick and Riddick Furia could be a good thing, and hopefully it will be.
I just hope that they don't put The Rock and Vin Diesel in that movie too. Like, I hope that he doesn't get cast in that movie. That would suck.
Oh, he won't, man. Riddick? They barely were able to get. They hate each other.
Yeah, they're not cool.
Yeah.
And honestly, I mean, they have no chemistry on it just turned two big guys fucking fighting like that. It might as well just be WWE at that point. It's like, just keep it a sci-fi. You don't need The Rock.
Yeah, you don't need The Rock for anything. I'm just like, man.
There was a
point there where I was like, oh, cool. And then that became like, again. And then it became like, and now it's just like, ugh.
Not another Doom situation.
Yeah. Oh, God, not Doom.
Oh, man. I got sucked into watching that movie because they had the first person part in the trailer. That
was the only good part of the movie. And I like that, The Rock, he was kind of a bait and switch because the other guy was being really the character.
Which,
one we need to cover some of maybe make a list of the best and worst video game tie-in science fiction.
Man, it's a shame too, because Doom is like $1 billion franchise and stuff, and you got and they can't be bothered to put like a top tier big budget movie behind it, man.
Mm-hmm.
That would be crazy if they ever did a Castle Wolfenstein.
Oh, good luck getting that off the ground.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
It is sad though. There's so many good video game stories that they have everything they need with a talented writer. They could they could take the bones that are already set from the video game stories and make something great. And so few of them do. But you had that one guy, that German guy that was directing every video game movie and fucking them up there for years and years. Yuri Ball or something like that.
Oh, Uwe Boll or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he fucked up Blood Rain, which would have been a shoe-in.
Yeah, what if you did like Quake? You could do Quake 2, the story, and like this had the humans versus the Strogg, man. It's almost like when you watch the opening part of Quake 2, kind of reminds me of the Starship Troopers movie.
Right, or Deus Machina. That one has a built-in
Deus
story.
Ex is, man, that Mankind, all those games are good. I went back and played the one from 2000, but that one, the Human Revolution, that's like one of the best video game soundtracks ever. I actually bought that because you can upgrade the dude. He's like a cyborg, and you can put all the upgrades in it. That's awesome.
Yeah, so many, and
I forgot about that.
These games, I go back and replay them for the story, not just the gameplay. Like The Last of Us is a great example of that. Even Metal Gear Solid, the first one, it's like I just want to see those fucking scenes again.
Yeah, I've only played, the only Metal Gear game I played was the one on the Nintendo that was like the one, that terrible one that you get is you just get a knife. I'm just like, wait a second. And then they put Kyle Reese from the Terminator on the cover of the Nintendo
cover
game. And I was like, wait, that's Michael Biehn, dude.
Yep. Just I'm surprised they got away with that. I wonder if there was ever a lawsuit.
They did some shady stuff back then.
La Noire is a game I played. I don't know if I've ever played that.
I haven't. I don't think I've heard of it.
Whoops. Don't need Wolfenstein. We have Golds. Where Eagles Dare, Guns. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of where they based the game Wolfenstein off of. So yeah.
Or Duke Nukem. That would be an interesting
one. LA Noire. Okay, why was I saying La Noire? What is that?
I was thinking La Noire too, man. It's I don't know French.
I'm working on very little sleep today, so I apologize. LA Noire that's a fantastic. Oh fuck, dude, you got me. That's another one I'm gonna have to look up, see how I can play that. That's on an old system I don't have anymore. I think it was had to be PlayStation 2. I haven't had my PS, but I might be able to get it off the PlayStation Store or even Steam. Let me look that up.
Yeah. Somebody, did you say, I think Vulcan said Duke Nukem. That'd be impossible to get made now, man. It'd be impossible because it's like
that would be hilarious. So
I know, right? He's the ultimate toxic male, man. That game was so great. I just remember that you could go to the urinal and press the space bar and he would pee. And I thought that was the greatest thing. I was like, this game is awesome. He can pee. And you went to the strip club and you broke out $1 bill, telling me, shake it, baby. And it was like,
so LA Noire is on Steam for $5.99. I am fucking getting that because I haven't played that in years.
I've never played that.
It is a fucking it's a Rockstar game, just based in like the I want to say like the 30s or 40s. And I don't. It's been so long since I played it. I don't remember a lot. But man, the graphic, it still looks good for as old as it is. Had real actors, that playing the all the main parts. Oh, Kane and Lynch. They made a Kane and Lynch movie, but it was shit. It was absolute fucking shit. It's on Expert. Okay. I'm gonna get it on PlayStation then. I don't want to have to bog down my computer with any more than I need to right now. All right, closing thoughts, since we just been kind of derailed here for the last 15 minutes or so on video games.
Looking at games and thinking about things to get. That's what happens when you start. You can just keep talking about when it's good stuff to talk about. You can just keep talking about it. Next thing you know, it's like 3 hours.
Exactly. And we're just a couple minutes away from the 3-hour mark. I think we said everything we want to say. Everybody's excited about the possibility of going into production. Well, it is in production. The possibility of it being good and revamping this very, very, very underrated franchise.
Yes.
All I hope is they have the heart in it, and that's the heart and the story. That's all I care about.
Yep. That's exactly right.
If they're doing it,
action.
if they're doing it, they have the heart in it. David Toy and Vin Diesel in it, because both of them love those stories, man.
Yeah, they're very personally invested, and when the creatives behind it are that personal with that property, and they love it that much, that's such a good sign. I mean, that's why Deadpool's staying so as good as it is, because Ryan Reynolds is fucking cares so much about it. He would walk away and not do it at all before they would let him turn it to shit. That's why it took so long to get made. James Gunn with Guardians is the same way, even though that's done now.
Yeah, it's definitely good.
Well, we're gonna wrap it up here. Vulcan, thanks for hanging out tonight,
Yeah,
man.
man.
You got anything coming up you want to plug before we do wrap up here?
Nope, just bringing the old Rumble channel back from the dead. That's all.
Nice.
So I'm gonna be just allocating more time, get away from being a postal carrier and do more videos.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
Let's see. You guys know what all's going on mine. Just follow me on X, Rogues Gallery, every Friday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. And then next week, Diesel, what are we doing next week? You want to tell everybody?
We're gonna break down Terminator Zero, the new 8-episode anime that dropped on August 29th, which is, for you Terminator fans, Judgment Day. August 29th, 1997 was Judgment Day. So they dropped the anime, and it is fantastic. I highly recommend you go check it out.
Yep. And definitely before next week, because we're going to be spoiling the shit out of it. I'm going to start episode 1 right after I get off here and probably kill the whole thing tonight since I don't have to work in the morning. Thank God.
Yeah, man.
But
binge that stuff.
I'm enjoying the shit out of this show, man. Again, just going back, talking about the good stuff, and this is going to be different because we're talking about something new that is apparently good.
It's awesome. See, we've already had 2 new awesome things.
2 new ones. Yeah, that's how we opened with Romulus. And we're kind of there's definitely a divide in the fandom with Alien right now. A lot of love, a lot of hate, and that's fine. That's what it's about. I can respect all the criticism from a lot of people I do respect that just absolutely hated the fucking movie, but I don't care. I didn't either.
I thought it was great.
I love
man.
it. We're gonna go to the theater and see it again. We're gonna plan a date night and see Deadpool and Wolverine and Romulus in the same night and just get dinner in between.
Cool.
Fuck yeah. But we'll see everybody again next week. Diesel closes out.
Yeah, well, thanks everybody for showing up. You can catch me Wednesday. I should be there Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central on Common Nerds channel for Winding Down Wednesdays. And thank you for hanging out and listening to us gush over some of our favorite stuff, the Riddick series. And yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Everybody have a good week. Next week we'll get back on it again with Terminator Zero.
Terminator Zero. Yep, I'm going to start episode 1 literally right now, and we'll see everybody next week on Space Jockeys. Good night, everybody. No closing. Cold close. Bye.